Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. A really exciting day to be here with you today. We are going to spend a lot of time talking about the top story, the headline right now on the Kansas City Star. The city of Kansas City is planning to unveil a $600 million plan for the Royals downtown stadium. We'll get into the details here coming up in just a little bit. It is important to note the moment that the city council meeting is over, the mayor of Kansas City, Missouri, Mayor Quentin Lucas, is scheduled to call into the show today. So once the city stops their conversation about it, he is going to pick up the phone and he is going to call into the show to give us all of the information related to this and get his real-time reaction to it. We will open up the phone lines. We will take your calls on this. You guys will get my thoughts. We'll read your text about this. This is a very exciting day. This is not the conclusion of this story, but this is the most significant step that we have taken in figuring out what the future looks like for the Kansas City Royals in almost 2 years. And as we'll talk more about this is offering the Royals exactly what the Royals said that they wanted. The Royals from day one communicated where they want it to be, and we know the money had to come from somewhere, the land had to come from somewhere, the space had to come from somewhere. This is the city of Kansas City stepping up to the plate and doing what they said they would do in negotiating a deal that is offering the Royals exactly what the Royals said that they wanted. So again, my name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful Thursday. We got a lot to get into in today's show. Before we move forward, I need to remind you guys of a couple of things. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number three, and most importantly, I need you guys to stop by and go see our friends over at The Other Place. We have the first major golf tournament of the year. You can stop by and watch that. We got baseball going on right now. The NBA regular season is coming to a close. The NBA playoffs start next week. So we got a lot of things happening in sports. The Derby is right around the corner. This is a really exciting time in the sports calendar. No better place to stop in, grab a bite to eat, grab something to drink, and catch the game than with our friends over at The Other Place. So the headline right now on the Star, the city of Kansas City plans to unveil a $600 million plan for the Royals downtown stadium. Here are the details. Going through the story, the proposal calls for a $1.9 billion stadium and surrounding district at the downtown site near Crown Center and Union Station. The city of Kansas City will contribute roughly $600 million to the project, according to a copy of the proposal obtained by the Star. I've also read a copy of the proposal. So the mayor of Kansas City, they are having a city council meeting right now. It started at 2 o'clock. They're having a city council meeting. This has been confirmed by basically everybody at this point. And the ordinance is going to authorize and negotiate to execute a 30-year term and lease and development agreement with the Kansas City Royals with the intention of them building a new stadium. This includes an aggressive timeline to open up by opening day of 2030, 1 year before the Royals lease expires at Kauffman Stadium. In a quote from Mayor Lucas to the Kansas City Star, and we will have our own quotes here coming up in a few hours. What I would say to folks is that today is a very material step in the delivery of a downtown baseball stadium that the Royals in the city are interested in opening by opening day of 2030. That is Quentin Lucas in an exclusive interview with the Star. Again, Mayor Lucas is going to be on the show later today. I don't have an exact time to present to you guys because I don't know exactly when the city council meeting is going to be over, but I promise you, we have been told that Mayor Quentin Lucas will be on the show today, and there's obviously a lot to get his thoughts on. So, Rob, let's just start with this. Finally, this is real, tangible news. For 2 years, we have danced around the idea of the Royals being up north. We have danced around the idea of the Royals being on 119th and all, and we have floated out the possibility of the Royals being where this proposed location is at Washington Square Park. I would say that if the Royals want to be downtown, this offers the Royals seemingly everything that they asked for. They will have their opportunity to have their entertainment district. They will have the opportunity to be located in the heart of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. They will be directly across the street from Crown Center. They will be directly across the street from Union Station. They will be right on the streetcar line. So public transportation and expanding how much parking is available is going to be an option in Kansas City. This offers the Royals the financial backing that we know that all Major League Baseball teams and all Major League sporting franchises crave. It offers them the land that they are asking them for and the exact location that they are asking for. So as I said to open up the show today, this is not 100% done, but this is obviously pushing in the direction. And you would have to think that the city of Kansas City is not doing this independently without any conversation from the Royals about what they want and what those plans can be. This is step one, and I believe in a 3-step process where on Tuesday, Kansas City goes and they continue to dot the I's and cross the T's. And I fully believe that between now and when the NFL draft happens, I believe that we are going to see a press conference between the city of Kansas City and the Kansas City Royals that announce that this is the plan and that they are working together to build a downtown stadium.
It does feel like I saw Todd Palmer from 41. Friend of the show, Todd Palmer? Todd Palmer's a friend of the show, right? I saw Todd Palmer earlier say this on with Cody and Gold. This might be the first step, but it feels like the biggest step. This is what felt like the biggest hurdle that was possibly blocking the Royals from moving to Washington Square Park one day. This news, which is now official, like we have an email from all the people that they are developing the area. They have invested the money, and the plan is that Washington Square Park will be the home of the Royals one day. It's been a long roundabout several years. I mean, I don't know when the vote was, but I feel like we've come out the other side and both teams are going to end up in a spot that is advantageous for them and for the city.
I think this is important to note as well. Someone texted this in, and we'll read a lot of texts today. We're going to read a lot of texts. We're going to take a lot of phone calls today. I mean, this is our stadium, 913-586-7965. CDOT, going off of the numbers, it feels like they lost a decent amount of city funding from all the bad negotiating they did with every different area in the metro. I would disagree. Now, if the city of Kansas City is offering to put up $600 million for a $1.9 billion stadium, it is important to note that is just the city money. We are not talking about any money that will be contributed by Jackson County. I'm not really sure how much money they are going to put in on this project. It's very different than was at the Truman Sports Complex. The county owned the land at the Truman Sports Complex. We will find out who owns the land. I'm guessing that the city owns this land and that they are offering to give it to the Royals to then build this in the heart of downtown. But we will ask that question when the mayor comes on. It is also important to note this does not factor in the money that the state is offering. And if you remember, there was a bill that was passed that the state could offer half of the amount of what it is. So if they think it's going to cost $1.9 billion to build this new baseball stadium, and the state is going to offer up $1 billion and the city is going to offer up $600 million, I mean, this is a better deal than what Kansas was offering the Royals to be able to do it. Now, this is what comes as a result of leverage. Missouri doesn't really have a whole lot of leverage, and you cannot afford to let both teams just mosey on across state line. So we all knew that the city was going to have to get their ducks in a row, and they were going to have to come with a very, very strong offer. But again, this checks a whole lot of boxes. This is not going to be voted on. This is not like what happened a couple of years ago in the Crossroads where this is going to a vote. No, the city came up with this money, and now they're just offering to give this money to the Kansas City Royals and offering the land. Now, I know what people are going to say as the show progresses. Why can't they just pay for it themselves? Stop it. Because we live in reality. The Chiefs did not pay for their own stadium. The Royals are not paying for their own stadium. Very few of these teams that we discuss are paying for it. Yes, I wish in an idealistic society that these billion-dollar teams would buy the land and they would pay all the taxes and they would do all these things. But stop it. That's not the world that we live in. We know that was not going to be the case. So, yes, they are taking some of our tax dollars and they are using it towards a downtown baseball stadium. So you can be upset by that, sure. Your frustration is not stopping them from building the stadium. They have made the determination this is what they are going to do. We have learned more times than not that billionaires usually get what they want. And the very first thing that John Sherman said was, I love Kauffman Stadium, but I want to be in downtown Kansas City. This plan would allow them everything that they have asked for. A centralized location that is in the heart of the touristy things to do in Kansas City. There's public transportation right there. There are parking garages all over that area. You cannot ask for a much more downtown venue than the one that they are about to get, it sounds like, from the city.
And again, this is a huge win for the city. We have heard about the city and the Royals and everyone being in limbo for I don't even know how long. Too long. Too much limbo has been going on. Now we have our answer. The city is making a move, which I will, credit the mayor. He has come on this show dozens and dozens of times and said if he wants, they can pull this lever. Well, guess what? The city is pulling the lever. I could probably find cuts in the folder the mayor saying there was a way to do this. They are now doing this, it looks like, to keep the Royals in Kansas City, Missouri, and in Jackson County with what I imagine will one day be a state-of-the-art, beautiful ballpark in Washington Square Park.
So we can open up the phone lines, 913-586-7965. We're going to take phone calls all day. We're going to read text all day. I mean, there's one story right now. This is the biggest step that we have in our lifetime. We have never seen a bigger step than we are seeing right now, in which the Royals have all of the things that they asked for a downtown stadium, and the expectation is that they are going to accept it, and very, very soon they are going to break ground on building a stadium directly across the street from Union Station. We'll take more of your phone calls coming up on the other side. We'll read your texts coming up on the other side to talk about this pretty historic day. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Tune in to hear the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews.
There's a high fly ball, deep left center. That goes Ward to the wall. Gone. Bobby Witt Jr.
Every Monday at 3, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
If you're looking for new work, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is seeking motivated candidates to add value to their business and, of course, their clients. They give top pay in the industry. They have health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and, of course, advancement opportunities. Work with a great local company who wants to see you grow with them. Go to GannAsphalt.com and find out how this new career opportunity can work out for you. Gann Asphalt, one contractor, all things parking lot.
Look, we all have those moments where we have to say no. No to a round of golf, no to a long walk, or even just no to getting out of the chair because your knees or your back aren't cooperating. But as we head into vacation season, think about the people waiting for you to say yes. Your family, your friends, they want the real you back, the one who isn't sidelined by chronic pain. I want to help you turn that corner. At QC Kinetics, they specialize in regenerative treatments that get you back in the game without surgery or without endless recovery months. Be honest with yourself for a second. Does joint pain keep you up at night? Are you at the end of your rope leaning on daily meds just to get through a shift at work? If you're nodding your head, you're exactly who QC Kinetics helps every single day. The best part, it's done right in their office with no downtime. So call them today for that free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. They're located off 435 in State Line or in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Looking for something smart, soulful, and full of heart? I'm Jen Hatmaker, host of For the Love, the podcast where we talk about what really matters: love and family, faith and purpose. Every week, I'm joined by incredible guests for honest conversations that invite all of us to live with more intention, more laughter, and more connection. Join us on For the Love wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Carter Jensen from the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, a couple of things on the text line. I just imagine we're going to be doing this all day. 913-586-7965. We're going to take your phone calls too. So if you want to call, you want to weigh in, you're more than fine. We're going to have guests popping on all day. The mayor has told us that he is going to call into the show today to talk about this. If you are wondering what we are talking about, there is a headline right now on the Stars website. Kansas City, they have unveiled a $600 million plan for the Royals to have a downtown stadium. That downtown stadium would be at the Washington Square Park area. For those of you that don't know, it is on 100 East Pershing Road. It is about 5 acres worth of land. Now, I've seen people say this. Text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, it is going to look comical trying to cram a Major League Baseball park into such a small space. I looked this up because I was curious. For example, Coors Field is 2.6 acres, and this is 5 acres of space. So I think this space is a lot bigger than you guys are giving it credit. I think one way we're looking at this is it is just not going to be surrounded by a massive parking structure like we are used to. I think that is pretty safe to say. I don't know where the parking structure is going to go. Like, it is not going to be surrounded with just nothing but parking area. Now, there's a lot of other things for them to figure out, which I imagine we are going to figure out over time. I have these questions. You have these questions. If you are expecting between 15 to, let's say, 25,000 people on an average night, you're going to have some nights that are obviously bigger than that. You're going to have 40,000 some nights, opening day, potential playoff games. At some point, we will host another all-star game. You're going to have some big-time nights at that ballpark. Where are you going to park all of those people? I don't have the answers to that. We're going to hopefully get the answers to that. But in terms of the actual structure, that space, I think, is more than enough to be able to put just the stadium there. Now, all the other things that they want to build, hotels and shops and all of these things, I don't have the answer to that, and they obviously are probably going to need more room than that. But if you were talking about just putting a baseball stadium there, there's more than enough space there.
I wonder, and these are the questions that I think are fair to ask that I don't have the answers to. I don't think you have the answers to. Maybe Charlie Keegan from 41 in 10 minutes, maybe the mayor today will have the answer to this. I don't know where they're going to put the entertainment district. Are they even still going to do an entertainment district? Because Crown Center's right there. Maybe you build and you expand Crown Center and make it bigger. Maybe, there's tearing down some buildings. I know Blue KC, I think, is a building down there that has been talked about in the past of maybe having to get out of the way for a ballpark. Maybe that's where they put an entertainment district. But I do feel like there is more space down there for the literal ballpark than the average person believes. It's not like it's a 5x5 square of concrete. There's plenty of space down there for a ballpark.
Someone on the text line makes this point, and I don't disagree with this. CDOT, the timing of this announcement had to ensure that the earnings tax had passed first. I absolutely think they were
1,000%.
I think they were 1-1 together. I think you are making a very, very safe assumption based on when I would say basically everybody in the media started to hear about this to this. It almost coincided once this earnings tax had passed and they knew that they were not passing up on this money, magically the rumors of this started to kind of matriculate out and people started to hear about this. So I don't think that that is a wrong way of going about this. Someone sent this in as well. CDOT, you're acting like a bootlicker. You should be saying that the Royals shouldn't take any public money. You're being complicit in all of this. I'm just simply being a realist in all of this. I mean, my stance on this has not changed. And if you were on the opposite side of that, you are allowed to be on the opposite side. But this is how American teams pay for their stadium. This is how they pay for them. We all now contribute to paying for the stadium. It doesn't matter if you live in Jackson County. It doesn't matter if you live in Cass County. It doesn't matter if you live in Johnson County or Wyandotte County. All of us now, with the things that we buy, we now directly contribute to help pay for the stadium. That's just America. Like, we can go through a bunch of American cities. This is how they end up paying for things. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that's the way that it should be. And yeah, John Sherman, who bought the team for $1 billion, he certainly has enough money or could raise enough capital to buy the stadium, buy the land on his own. That is just not the way that professional sports teams in 2026 operate. That is not how cities operate with these because of how important it is to have these teams, to have these investments in your community. So yes, Kansas City has bent over backwards for the Royals. They are giving them about 5 acres more so of land. They're giving them $600 million and saying, build what you want to build in downtown Kansas City. Again, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just simply telling you this is how business works. If you want to have a $1 billion baseball team or football team in your metropolitan area, this is just the cost of doing business. This is the difference in making Kansas City, or making Kansas City, Omaha. It is having a football team and a baseball team. That's just the cost of things. Let's go to the phone lines and take our first phone call for the day. Tim called into the show. Tim, how you doing today, my man?
Man, I'm doing good. How y'all?
Doing good, man.
Man, I'm excited. I'm super stoked. My son lives downtown. A lot of these kids in their 20s, they like living downtown. They like that culture. They like all that. I think you're going to see an uptick in attendance with all the folks that work downtown and, even communicate. I'm 10 minutes from the stadium right now. I love going to the games. I love that it's that close, but I also like the environment. I like the backdrop. I think it's, you getting out of work at 2 o'clock and bounce out of work a little early one day, go catch a game. I think you'll see an uptick in those games where you only got like 8,000, 10,000 folks out there. Maybe it jumps up to about 15, 20. Just hoping, man. I'm excited.
I'm with you, Tim. I appreciate the phone call as well. This has been my stance from the very, very beginning on things. And this is why I was against them moving to 119th and all. And this is why I was also against them moving up north. I don't think that those locations help the Royals and what I think the Royals' biggest problem is. And the biggest problem with the Royals is people do not go to Royals games between Monday and Thursday. Yes, people go to Royals games on the weekend. If the weather is good and it's the weekend and school is out, like if you got to check all of those qualifiers, yes, you can get 27 people out to the game. You can get 31,000 people out to the game. If the Angels are in town and Mike Trout's playing, or the Dodgers are here, or the Cubs are here, or the Yankees, and the weather's good and they're giving away stuff, yes, people will go to the baseball games. But on a random Wednesday against the White Sox in April, people are not going to Royals games. I can give you 10 years of data that would suggest that you are not that interested in going to that Royals game. This changes it a little bit. Now, I don't think the Royals now go from where they've been to now the most heavily attended in baseball. I don't think that's it, but I agree with you. I think this opens up a lot of financial opportunities for the Royals, suites, building a more modern stadium. I think that goes without saying. I also do think it gives you a chance of getting an extra 2,000 to 4,000 people for a weekday game that you could have. And if you add those 2,000 to 4,000 people up over time, that stuff makes a big difference financially for the Royals. So, yeah, I absolutely think it could help.
I also think now maybe I am falling victim to the pseudoscience that is stadium economic science, but 81 nights a year, you have, let's just say, 18,000, which is not a big number of fans. Let's just say 18,000 fans over 81 nights of the summer are downtown. Do you know what that means for bars and restaurants downtown? You know what that means for more buildings and more stuff downtown? Like, me and you are more downtown people than the average person in town. I mean, you live there, so you're more downtown than I am. Just the development that has popped up around T-Mobile Center from it being built. Imagine that level of development, but at a higher scale, because now there's a host tenant that'll, in theory, be downtown or Crown Center area, whatever you want to call it, 81 nights a year. It's not just the big opening day. It's now Ricochet is full on a Tuesday before the Royals game. It's those sorts of things as the town continues to develop.
Text line 913-586-7965. Just going through some of you guys' text line and some of your opinions. Someone said, honestly, this is the best option. Great views with Memorial, Union Station, the Western Auto Building. Hopefully they add to Crown Center right there on the street line. I mean, now's the time to get it on the ground floor at Crown Center. I don't know if you guys have been to Crown Center kind of lately. It's a lot of stores that are going vacant now at Crown Center. A lot of you now are going to spend more time in that part of the city than you have maybe in your entire life. You'll go down there 2-3 times a year. I'm guessing they're also going to do other events, like they've had the Savannah Bananas down there. They'll have concerts down there sometimes. They'll have other things down there. So you'll just be down there. You're right, getting something to eat, grabbing something to drink, stopping by all of the things down there. So, yeah, I mean, if you're talking about boosting the energy and the development around where we think the stadium is going to be, yes, absolutely. Crown Center has gotten – there is not a bigger winner in all of this, I would say, than the Crown Center area and that actual structure and what's in there. You're absolutely going to see a change in Crown Center over the next decade.
Streetcar is also a huge winner today. Sure. Like, if you're a person who fought back into the streetcar and fought back into this, you're a double loser today, because now, in theory, based on where I'm imagining this is, I can park at River Market and ride the streetcar to a Royals game. Like, that's a thing. I mean, that's the opposite direction of where I'd be coming from, but that's a thing I can do now. So this is a win for downtown Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that this is the win for everybody in all of this. I know we're going to have Charlie Keegan come on the show here coming up in just a little bit. I mean, this has been my stance from the very, very beginning. I think there was only one place that was going to unify the city. I mean, we're going to Royals games regardless, right? But I don't know if the 119th and Null idea was ever really going to excite the city. I don't think that the up north idea was ever going to be in a position where it was going to excite the city. I think this is it. I understand it's new. I understand that it's different. And we have never seen a shift like this before, where you are taking a stadium that for the most part was largely out of everybody's way in the Truman Sports Complex. I mean, it's two stadiums and just acres and acres of parking spaces around it. It is now moving one team to a completely other state across state line in the Chiefs, and now moving a team that was out of the way in the Royals to now in the middle of everybody's way, in the middle of a community. There's apartment buildings over there. There's hotels right over there. Like, you already have an infrastructure over there. So, yes, it is going to fundamentally be different. But I still wholeheartedly believe once it's done and once we get a chance to see it and once we get a chance to operate and adjust to it, I really firmly believe that eventually we will see that this was in the best interest of everybody in the Royals moving to this part of the city. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Charlie Keegan. He is with 41 News, and they had the report that the Royals, or I guess more specifically, that the city right now is finalizing a plan to help fund a downtown baseball stadium. That's the correct way of saying it. Charlie, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great, C-Dot. How about you?
Absolutely, man. So let's just start with this very simple question. What does all this mean in your mind?
Yeah, this for me, what I'm taking away from this is the city trying to back the Royals into a corner, basically, and say, hey, we got this plan where we can pay for a stadium for you guys to get what you want with downtown baseball, You just got to agree to work with us, and we can make it all happen. So they're laying out that framework with this ordinance today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This definitely feels like step one in the process. Let's start with this. How did we get here in all of this? Because it's definitely been a windy road. How did we get here?
It has been a very windy road. Well, I don't know. You go back. How far back you want to go back? You want to go, Carrington? It's 2022 when John Sherman took over. He said he wants downtown baseball. Then we presented the plan for the Crossroads that voters voted down in 2024. And then since then, there's been a lot of work behind the scenes here where Mayor Quentin Lucas does not want to see this team slip away from Kansas City. So he's been putting together different proposals for the team to consider. And the team's been listening to Kansas and North Kansas City and other suitors as well. So I think there's been a lot of pressure on Kansas City to come up with a plan that works for the team. And they feel like they've gotten to that point where this might be kind of the magic recipe to get the Royals to stay right here in Kansas City and get that downtown vision that John Sherman's always kind of preached about.
How much of the Chiefs moving to Kansas do you think scared Missouri into making this deal happen?
You got to think that played a role. Yeah, in December when the Chiefs announced they're moving to Kansas, I bet the hair stood up on the back of the necks of folks here in Kansas City, Missouri, and they did not want to have that kind of egg on their face to see both major professional teams, move out of town. And so, yeah, I think that ratcheted things up. And, I don't know what the deals looked like before today, but now we're starting to get a closer look at what the city's proposing. And, yeah, they're talking about $600 million from taxpayers, to go toward the team. And then they expect the state to chip in some money as well to help keep the team right here in town. So probably close to $1 billion that would be coming the Royals' way.
Do we have those numbers? I see that the city is committing $600 million. Do we have exact on how much the county would chip in for this and how much the state would chip in on this?
We don't have those numbers yet. And I got to say, the city still has to approve this. It's just introduced today, that $600 million from the Kansas City. The state can chip in up to 50% of the total project cost. And it looks like we're seeing this project cost is about $1.9 billion. So the state could chip in, in between $900 million and $1 billion toward this. Could. That would be like the most. And then the county, hard to say what their contribution would be. I was talking with Phil Lavota, the new county executive, earlier today, and he said, he's keeping an eye on this, but as it stands right now, this proposal going through City Hall does not include any county money. Didn't sound like he was opposed to making some sort of commitment there on behalf of the county, but nothing in black and white right now.
Yeah, that sounds to me like the city just went ahead and operated on their own independently, given the fiasco of what happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to read into this, Carrington. They were kind of tired of sitting back and maybe waiting for collaboration and just decided to grab the bull by the horns.
Right now, we're talking to Charlie Keegan for a couple more minutes here. He had the report that that the city, I can't say the Royals. It's an important note that the Royals did not do this. The city did this today. We were waiting to see with the Royals. So let's at least ask this question. I mean, Mayor Q in Kansas City, they have made their play. When do you expect that we are going to hear something from the Royals in reaction to the news today?
Well, I think we will get some sort of vague statement from the Royals today. I don't think they can just sit quietly on this. They have to at least say, thank you so much for the city. We look forward to having a partner in whatever decision we make, some word salad kind of thing. But I think that we got to be getting close, right, Carrington? It's been 2 years now since the last proposal came forward in April, and April 2024, and John Sherman, even on opening day, when he had his big press conference, was saying, that he feels a sense of urgency, that he expects to get this done sooner rather than later. He did say, I'm not giving any timelines or deadlines because that hasn't worked in the past, but I think we're going to be getting some formal announcement and those renderings. Everybody wants to see what this might look like, right? I think that's got to happen in the next month at least, right?
You would like to think so. From a space perspective, do you like this location? I think a lot of people are having a tough time sort of wrapping their mind around just putting a baseball stadium there. I looked this up during the last commercial break. That space is around 5 acres. For example, Coors Field is around 2.6 acres. So in terms of square footage, there's enough there, I think, to build a baseball stadium. Do you like that location?
I think that location could do a lot of good stuff for Kansas City. Yeah, right now you got, it's kind of a passive park right now. It's not even not really attracting a whole lot of people to that part of town. And you got Crown Center that's there that could benefit from having more people come into games and whatnot. So I could see the logic in a move like this. I think if you tear down that old office building, the old Blue Cross Blue Shield building that's right there, that gives you a little bit more space to work with. I think maybe you could. I don't know. I'm not an architect, right, or engineer, but could you cover up the train tracks on the north side of the park and give yourself a little bit more level field there to build some, bars and restaurants and hotels and stuff around the stadium? I think that could work. John Sherman has said that that site is a little bit smaller than his perfect world scenario, but he didn't say that that's a deal breaker.
Last couple of things here, Charlie, and we're happy to have you pop on the show today. We're just happy to kind of get your thoughts on things. Take us through the next, let's say, 3 to 5 days. This is obviously just step one, but there's other things that need to happen. What's next?
Yeah, so the city council will formally introduce this and assign it to a committee this afternoon. And then on Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, the 14th, right, 2 things happen on that day. One, in the morning, there will be a public hearing where members of the public can come and tell the council if they think this is a good idea, bad idea, neutral idea, and they'll accept that feedback. So that's Tuesday morning. You will get a chance to give the council a piece of your mind. And then Tuesday afternoon, the Kansas City, Missouri Parks Board, which oversees Washington Square Park and which would continue to own that land that a ballpark would then be on, has a meeting in the afternoon, and they have to also sign off on this plan. I don't know if that's going to be the agenda for that meeting's not quite out yet. It comes out on Friday, but you have to imagine that they'll be part of their conversation as well. And then a week from today, next Thursday, that's when we kind of expect the city council to make some final decisions on this.
That is Charlie Keegan joining us on the show today. He is with KSHB 41. We have the news that the city of Kansas City, they have committed $600 million to a project for the Royals to build a downtown baseball stadium. The proposal calls for a $1.9 billion stadium in downtown Kansas City. Charlie, great stuff today. Great reporting by you and Todd Palmer. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for recognizing us and having me on the show today, Carrington.
Absolutely. That is Charlie Keegan joining us on the show today. I say this with love, with absolute love. Text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, the first thing I always say when I see a downtown stadium is, wow, we're losing tailgating. We only have parking garages. This is horrible. We got to stop it when it comes to tailgating for Royals games. We got to stop it. I'm not saying that people don't tailgate for Royals games. I've been to one before. I've lived here too. There is not a culture of tailgating at Royals games. There is a culture absolutely with Chiefs games. Trust me, there's nothing else over there about where they're building the Chiefs stadium. You'll have all the space in the world for your outside picnic. I promise you will. You do not need that to go to the baseball game. You want to know how I know? We all go to the Big 12 tournament every single year, and we all seem to have a great time at McFadden's. We all seem to have a great time at Jotty Taverns and Pizza Bar and all of these other places, and we do not tailgate for any of these things. We got to stop it when it comes to tailgating for Royals games. We got to stop it. We got to. You guys go to Kansas basketball games. There's no tailgate culture. Seem to have a great time. We got to stop it when it comes to this. Now, agreed. I have all the questions in the world that you guys have about parking and where are people going to park and traffic and navigating these things. And we got 4 or 5 years to be able to figure this out. But if you were telling me that we lost the handful of people that tailgate for Royals games and this is the trade-off for it, good. Please stop. That's all I can say. As nice as I can say it, please stop with this. There's no tailgating culture when it comes to Royals games. For the Chiefs, absolutely. Around football, yes. For Royals games, no. Stop it. Please stop it. All right, coming up on the other side, We are expecting the mayor to join us. I'm not really sure when he is going to join us. They had the city council meeting. They had to do the group scrum. We are above doing the group scrum on this show. We don't want no parts of that. You either call in the show or you don't come on the show. So Mayor Quinn Lucas is going to be on the show. He's going to call in coming up at some point in the 3 o'clock hour, maybe the 4 o'clock hour again. I don't know exactly what time he is. There are other things happening in sports. I do want to talk a little bit about Kansas basketball. As right now, no one appears to be on their team. We'll talk about it next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Warmer weather, longer days, and a juicy steak sizzling on the fire. Ah, smells like grilling season is here. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Choose bacon-wrapped chicken grillers for $3.99 each. Marinated chicken breasts, $1.99. Thick-cut pork chops, 3 for $5. And specialty brats, just 8 for $10. Don't forget your favorite marinade, rubs, and sauces, and fire up the grill this Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee makes our life easier every single day. Not only do they have great quality customer service and value every single day at Hy-Vee, they help us out and they take the pressure of shopping off our plate. We've got our Perks Plus membership. We upgraded from the regular Hy-Vee Perks membership because with Perks Plus, we get free grocery delivery or express pickup, plus even more exclusive benefits and savings like fuel saver deals all day long. So enroll today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Only at Hy-Vee.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
Just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
This afternoon, expect a sunny day with a slight chance of showers and a high of 79.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. This is a little bit of my Missouri fans shining through a little bit. I think KU fans are scrambling a little bit, and they usually are not in this position. Someone just sent this in. CDOT, you have to consider that after the season, Self didn't want these guys to come back. Why would you? They got bounced in the first weekend. This is where I feel like KU fans are trying to play all sides, because for those of us on the outside, we heard you guys say all season you didn't want one-and-done prospects. You were tired of guys that were just coming in for NIL that didn't buy into the program, and you want guys that are committed to staying and playing basketball at KU. So you don't want one-and-done guys. You're tired of it. You tried it. It doesn't work. You don't want those guys. All right, so you don't want one-and-done guys. I've seen enough Bill Self basketball. Bill is incredible at some things. Bill is not great at the transfer portal. He's not. Yes, they will get some hits in the transfer portal. Bill has not shown me an ability in the transfer portal era to build a championship contending winning team. He has not shown me that in the transfer portal era. So yes, in the NIL era and after COVID, he has done that. But that Kansas team that won the championship had one transfer. We just saw a team, their entire starting five was transfers. So in just a very short period of time, college basketball has radically changed. A lot of teams have changed with it. Kansas has not made an adjustment with it. So they are not good at transfers in my mind, not good at the level where they can continue to keep up the expectations that Kansas basketball has had for basically 50 years. And Kansas doesn't, to me, seem like the program that wants to pay what it takes to keep freshmen, to develop in their system and continue to get better under Bill. This is the weirdest period I think we have ever seen of Kansas basketball, where there is uncertainty at every single turn. There is uncertainty of how long the coach is going to be there. Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? How much longer are we going to do this? Who is going to be the coach after Bill Self? Are we going to be able to get our top candidate? Because Carolina didn't get their top candidate. Kentucky didn't get their top candidate. I think those teams are struggling to get their top candidate. And Kansas, I think you would have to put on that list of that caliber of program. And just what does Kansas's team look like next year? And this is not me saying this as a Missouri fan. This is just me saying this as somebody who has watched the last 4 years of Kansas basketball. If you're telling me that their team is going to be a group of freshmen and transfers, that team ain't doing a whole lot. Not based on what KU fans expect their team to be. If you are expecting to win the league and win championships and can compete for championships, that's just not the way that Bill builds his most successful teams, and he just hasn't shown me their ability to do that. So are they going to be terrible next year? Of course not. But this just, it feels like we are already loading up another 4 or 5 seed, a team that wins a couple of cool games at home, but once we get to March 1st, you really got to squint. You really got to do a lot of work to see if this team can really make some noise and that they can really be true contenders in the NCAA tournament.
I understand where that thought comes from. And I'm going to say a lot of the things I said yesterday about the Royals, about KU. Can we at least see what happens with the portal era? Because with this portal run, look, can we just see who they get? They're not going to get 0 players.
No,
we know
they're going to get somebody. But Rob, we've done this now 4 straight years with Bill. This is not Bill's strength.
It's not his strength.
Bill has had his worst time as a coach during this era, during the turn over your roster quick, transfer portal era, it has not worked out the way that you wanted it to work out. You hated Hunter Dickinson. You hated that class. You guys didn't really seem to have much fun this year with this year's team and the ups and downs and back and forth. Like, I think that's why I said, again, if you were telling me the plan for Kansas basketball this year is a group of freshmen and rolling the dice in the transfer portal, sign me up for Kansas being a 4 seed next year. Which, I mean, they're going to make the tournament. They're going to finish third in the Big 12. They're not going to be terrible next year. But for you guys and what you guys' standards are, that is another disappointing Kansas basketball season.
In that team you're describing, a bunch of young players and then a handful of portal guys, isn't that what Arizona was last year? Now, yes, they brought back Jaden Bradley, who inexplicably won Big 12 Player of the Year. But it wasn't like that Arizona team was just like Michigan. It was all portal guys everywhere. They were led by freshmen. Their two best players were freshmen. The defensive second runner-up and defensive player of the year for Arizona, Krivas, their center. He's a freshman. I mean, he may have been redshirt, but I know that he was a freshman. Like, you can still build with freshmen and then portal pieces around it. We just saw it be successful at a different team.
I agree with you. I'm asking, can Kansas do that? I'm not saying can anybody do this, because yes, anybody absolutely can do this. Can Kansas build this way? Because Bill has not shown me that he can build this way. Sometimes what works for player A doesn't work for player B. They both can have the same coach, the same teacher, the same things. Player A is just more skilled at this thing. So yes, you're 100% right. I mean, Michigan's roster is going to overturn. UConn's roster is going to overturn. A lot of these teams are going to turn over their roster. Dan Hurley has shown me I can lose Donovan Clingan. I can lose Stephon Castle. I can then go retool in the portal and get back to a national championship. Arizona has shown me that ability. Kelvin Sampson has shown me that ability. Bill has not shown me that ability. Bill has not shown me he can build his team that way. Not at any point in this era. So that's what I'm saying is that's what they're going to have to do. This is the fourth consecutive year Kansas is going to have to build their team off the backs of you trust in Bill in the transfer portal, and Bill primarily building his team through a one-and-done player who is not going to buy into all the things that matter to KU fans. Tyron Stokes is not going to be your forever Jayhawk in the way you need him to be. He is a basketball mercenary. Rob, you know that when it comes to that kid. That kid got kicked off of his senior basketball team. So it's either that or just rolling the dice again on transfers. I'm sorry, it's rolling dice on transfers.
I agree. This is why I have been advocating long and hard on this show for KU to hire a GM to be a intermediary in this world. But I don't think it's, Kansas is screwed. They might have the number one recruiting class of high school kids. The last team to do that was Duke. They had a pretty good season and the season before that. And you just got to trust Bill to find role pieces, which I know you're saying he hasn't done a great job of it, and I don't disagree. It wasn't like last year's portal class was a full-on miss. Trey White was a good player. Melvin Council was a really good grab out of the portal. It's part of their problem last year was their own guys didn't develop at the level they anticipated. Elmarco Jackson didn't develop. Jamari McDowell didn't really develop. Cole Rosario, they brought in, didn't really develop, although he's still on the roster. Bryson Tiller stagnated. Like, some of the problems last year are not just, hey, the portal missed. I'm with you on the Dickinson AJ Storr era. But last year, I would say Bill gets a passing grade at minimum for his portal work by adding Trey White, a starter of every game, and Melvin Council, a starter of every game.
That team had no depth, no bench last year.
That part of that's because they didn't develop their own.
100%.
Elmarco's not good enough. He's now gone. Jamari McDowell, Cole Rosario. That was supposed to be the bench. They don't exist.
For sure. I mean, some of these guys, you're gonna have natural turnover of your roster. You cannot tell me that the plan for Kansas was to lose Flory Badunga. That could not have been part of the plan. He is the best player in the portal right now. He's a legitimate 6'10". He's going to be an elite defensive player, and he's going to average 15 points per game. Every team in college basketball wants Flory. There is no part of the plan in which Kansas was happy to let Flory go. I would also argue there is no world in which they wanted Bryson Tiller to leave too. Look at the teams that are after him. I mean,
they didn't want to lose both. Maybe they would swallow one.
I don't think they wanted to lose either one of them.
Well, based on Flory's number, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. But that's what I also say. That's the cost. That's the cost of doing business. This is where I am a little bit critical of KU and how they are building their team. You want championship level quality, but yet now we're arguing that these guys that can help you win championships are too expensive. You can't have both. You have the best available big man in college basketball. He's been there. Pay him. Pay him. What's the point of how much money did David Booth give you guys? What's the point of all this money then if you can't keep the guys that you need necessarily to win basketball championships with? David Booth gave you guys, what, $300 million? $300 billion? It was a significant amount of money, right?
I believe it was with something with I don't know if it was $300 billion, but it was.
I don't know. I was at that basketball game. They thanked him 18 times. He gave a lot of money to get thanked 18 times. He gave a lot of money. David Booth gave a substantial donation to Kansas Athletics.
He also got thanked about 500 times at a football game once, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Couldn't stop thanking him.
He gave him $300 million. And now we're penny pinching off keeping talented bigs at basketball? I'm tired of watching Kansas basketball act like broke boys. Pay the money. Get back to winning Big 12s and winning championships. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in this way to see Kansas, the way they're acting right now. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll talk about the new City Connect uniforms. Stop by your local Dick's Sporting Goods and go grab you the new City Connect uniforms. We'll talk about it. Keep right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/18 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
FanDuel has your back with a special Mulligan bet back token this week in golf. Once the tournament starts, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another try. Now you've got protection to take that sleeper pick or make a bold prediction. Go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan bet back token. Perhaps you want to bet on Scotty Scheffler to lead after round one. You could do that over at the tournament. Backing someone to win it all? Go for it. Like someone for a top 5 finish? Lock it in with confidence, because if it doesn't hit, you've got that mulligan in your back pocket ready to go. Go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan bet back token. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issued as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler at Chain Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, never with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here for Renner Garage Door, America's oldest family-owned garage door company, serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
RENNER.
Draft coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strom from the Kansas City Royals. Don't miss Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, I got a text from somebody about the Royals and the stadium stuff. I don't know if I can read it on the air or not, so I text them if I could. Because I don't want to read it, and then they're like, oh, wait, I just told you this on a private one-to-one level. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm big on that. Like, hey, if you want me to say it on the air, I'll say it. So if you were just tuning in, the city of Kansas City, earlier today, they unveiled a $600 million plan for the Royals downtown stadium. Let me get you all the information. The proposal is built around Washington Square Park, so that is at 100 East Pershing Road. It's about a 5-acre plot of land. The proposal would call for a $1.9 billion stadium and a surrounding district at the downtown site near Crown Center and Union Station, and the city would contribute roughly $600 million to the project. There was a copy of the proposal that was obtained by the Kansas City Star. Now, it is important to note, you might be asking, well, where's the rest of the money going to come from? There was a bill that was passed in Missouri in which the state can pay for half of the project. So if it's a $1.9 billion stadium, the state can pay for half of that amount, plus the city is contributing $600 million to it. That pays for a pretty substantial part of the stadium. This offers the Royals everything they told us they wanted regards to a stadium. Rob, how many people that we talked to over the last 2 years? And one of the biggest things they told us was the Royals did not want another public vote. They got embarrassed the last time they tried to do this. They got pummeled at the ballot box, and they did not want a public vote. You do not have to go through a public vote of this. This is going to be voted on through city council. We're going to find out more about that. We'll give you a better time frame on when the mayor is going to be on the show. But no time frame for all of this. If we are just being rough estimates with the money, it sounds like between Kansas City and the state of Missouri, they're going to contribute $1.4 to $1.5 billion to this project. They are going to have space in downtown Kansas City, directly across the street from Union Station, directly across the street from Crown Center, right there on the streetcar line. That's probably, a mile and a half from Power and Light, a mile and a half from the T-Mobile Center. A lot of the things that the Royals said that they wanted and valued and coveted when it came to a downtown stadium, it sounds like a lot of those things have been approved in this process. So we will see when the Royals publicly come out and acknowledge this, when the Royals publicly commit to this plan. But if you wanted Kansas City, Missouri to step up after losing the Chiefs to the state of Kansas, you cannot say that they have not done so. They have absolutely done so with this proposal centered around Washington Square Park.
I mean, this is, I called it earlier, the biggest step. Because now, I mean, it's going to be There's going to be government work that happens. We heard Charlie Keegan earlier. It has to go to the finance committee. People can go talk to city council about their thoughts on the plan. And then we'll go back to the city council we voted on and all sorts of things like that. I'm not saying it's done. But to get the funding figured out was probably the major hurdle, the biggest step to getting the Royals to stay not only in Jackson County, but in Kansas City, Missouri, which is what everyone wanted following the Chiefs announcement last December that they were headed westward. So it feels like the city's getting what they want, which is the team to stay. The team's getting what they want, which is downtown baseball, and Jackson County's getting what they want, which is to not lose both teams. I don't understand how this is anything other than a win-win, because it is the first step on what we think is a process that ends with the Royals one day breaking ground at Washington Square Park.
All right, so let's keep the Royals conversation and let's talk about this new City Connect uniforms. Now, my initial thought process is these uniforms are all right. I don't love these uniforms. I don't dislike these uniforms. I watched the video. I heard the explanation why they are the color that they are. But I guess I just have a couple of questions. Number one, why did they go with that logo on the cap? Because I would say, talking about a jersey or official shorts or whatever it is, a baseball cap is iconic. We all know what the Yankees cap looks like, what the Red Sox cap looks like, what the Dodgers, the Royals. Like, we all know these hats. I understand changing the color of those hats. I don't know why you would then change and remove the logo. Because then if I look at your hat and I got to ask you, well, whose hat is that? And then you got to explain it. We've lost the plot, in my opinion. So the hat and them changing the logo is just kind of silly to me. And I just don't really want that hat. I wouldn't buy that hat. I don't really have much of an interest in that hat. I like the Royals hats the way that they have. Just give me the regular blue hat. Everybody's had one at one point in your life. I love the Royals caps. Just a clean, crisp baseball look. Give me the Royals hat. Now, if you want to, again, change this to the City Connect colors, I know they got the black ones. I'm not a huge fan of the hat. That's number one. Number two is, what's wrong with the City Connect jerseys that they've been wearing? I like those blue ones that they have. I really do. I like the blue ones. Now, I understand that money is a part of it, and Nike wants to sell new jerseys and make new jerseys to get you to go buy them, and I believe they're going to wear those jerseys this weekend. They're also going to wear them for every Friday game. I like the blue ones a lot more, and to me, the blue ones make more sense in the Royals color scheme, the Royals history, the Royals tradition. I like the blue uniforms a lot more than the ones they introduced today. I don't hate these uniforms. I don't love these uniforms. I would not buy this jersey. I would not buy this hat. But, I mean, for them to wear them basically, 12 times a year, they're okay.
Do you know what's frustrating to me about the hat? Because I had the same thought. The hat stinks. The logo's bad. The hat's bad. I was perusing social media, and they announced this at the Royals team store today. And people are posting photos of the team store tonight. I presume we'll have it. I know tomorrow, I presume the team store will have it. They have caps that have the City Connect logo on it. Every hat except for the one they're going to wear on the field with the City Connect is a better looking one. There's one that has that goofy crown with a KC under it. There's one that just has an R that looks like the city flag that's a better. The logo on the hat is terrible, and the ones in the team store they're selling are better. Wear one of those, because the hat's the biggest problem. I don't love that it's purple. I get what they're trying to do with the blue and the red and the city flag, but it kind of comes out way too purpley for me, but whatever. But just the hat is so bad.
I also just don't think, and I understand that that's the city's logo. We just don't really identify with the city flag that way. And there are very few cities that do. Chicago is a city, for example, that very much identifies with their city flag, and it is a part of their culture, and it is a part of the fashion and color designs. That's just not really how we've ever treated the city flag and the official city logo. So I get the idea of trying to play into it, but we don't really have a lot of connection, I would say, with that. Again, I understand what Nike was trying to do and the idea behind it. The execution for me just kind of fell flat on all of it. The color scheme just kind of fell flat on all of it. This is just not a jersey that I would buy. Like, you would have to give me a pretty substantial discount on this jersey for me to be willing to go swipe my debit card on this. I looked at it earlier today on Nike. It's $140 for this jersey. Absolutely no thanks. If that's the case, I'd rather just wear a throwback jersey. Like, I'd rather just, right now, would you rather have the brand new 140 Vinny Pasquantino City Connect jersey, or you can go right there on that website and get a Bo Jackson jersey for $70 in a Royals color? I'd rather have that than have that new City Connect uniform.
I'm re-looking at the jersey. I actually don't think the jersey itself's bad. It's got a big R on it for Royals. It's just, it should be less purple. I know that purple's like a Royal color. I get it, but like maybe make it more red because the city flag is red. And just, the hat's so bad. It looks like 2 smiley faces, 3 smiley faces. Just, and it's gradient hat. Just, I feel like if they just fix the hat, I would like this jersey so much better because it has good elements, but just, it's ruined at the top.
Yeah, someone on the text line just said this, and I Googled and I looked it up. Hey, these hats, people are buying these right now. I'm looking at it right now. I'm on neweracap.com. The fitted cap is $52.99. People are spending $53 plus tax on fitted caps in 2026. We're losing recipes. That's a $57 hat. I thought hats, didn't these be like $35? You know the one I'm talking about with the brim.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, what's your hat size? I'm a 7 3/8.
I'm a 7 5/8.
Okay, yeah. These fitted caps, they're going for $53 now, plus tax, plus shipping on the New Era website. Y'all spending that in this economy?
On a bad looking hat.
Y'all got it. I don't have it, so I can't comment on it. I don't have $53 for that fitted cap. Not at all. I don't got $20 for that fitted cap. Not at all. I don't got $20 for that fitted cap. Someone on the text line says, CDOT, only Royals fans don't like these. Everybody else in the baseball world loves these. I only care about Royals fans' opinions about Royals fans' jerseys. That's it. I don't care. So you're right. If you're in San Diego and you love the Royals uniform, that's great. Were you planning on buying one? You plan on walking around San Diego with that Garcia jersey? You were planning on walking around in downtown Boston, Massachusetts with the Jack Caglione jersey? So you're right. If other baseball people like them, that's great. That's fantastic. I have not got the sentiment that these are very popular amongst Royals fans, which I imagine those are the only people that you were trying to impress with these uniforms. No one else cares.
I mean, there are other City Connects in baseball that I like, but not enough to go buy. Like, the Padres have a cool one. I would literally never, ever, ever buy another team City Connect. So I do not care what Braves fans think of this. I don't.
Yeah, someone said $35. That was a staple. Somebody said I quit buying hats for this reason. I try to catch them on clearance. I know sometimes you guys make fun of me about the things I know and I don't know. I had absolutely no clue that they were charging $53 for the fitted caps. I had no clue. None. Stunned that was the case. Is this everywhere? Like, if you go to Rally House right now, is that how much they're charging for the cap? Let me look. I'm sorry I'm doing this on air, but I genuinely am stunned that that's how much fitted caps cost. All right, when's the last time you bought a fitted cap?
It's been a while. I've moved to the snapback recently.
Yeah, you do like a good backward snapback hat.
It's like the Galt. I got the Galt with the cord. I'm a big cord guy now, too.
Okay, well, I'm going to find this hat at Rally House. $52. Goodness gracious. Y'all got it, man. Y'all rich. I don't got it. I don't got it at all. No, thank you. How much is this? You know, you pick something up, then you find out how much it is, you instantly put it down. Like, oh, okay, all right, y'all got it. That's what I would do with that hat when I saw it at Lids. I want no part of it. All right, coming back on the other side, we'll get back to the top story. The city of Kansas City, they are rolling out the red carpet for the Royals. We'll take your phone calls, 913-586-7965. That's all coming up. Keep it locked in. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
Vicki Stevens writes, We weren't happy with the way things turned out last season, so I made the call. Weedman's been a total game changer. Fertilization, weed control, the whole 9 yards. Our lawn has never looked better. The neighbors are so jealous, they avoid me at the supermarket. It's fantastic. Go to weedman.com, enter promo code GREEN, and get 1 free service.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber, connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready, Kansas City! Harris is giving you the chance to drive away in a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend. Earn entries now through May 2nd just by playing your favorite games. Want even better odds? Every Tuesday in April, score double entries to boost your chances. Then join us May 2nd for the big drawing. Adventure is calling. Will you answer? Only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Replacing your HVAC doesn't have to be an emergency. Plan now, pay less later. For a limited time, take advantage of an HVAC replacement with financing starting as low as $149 a month. More options, better timing, and less stress for your home.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Still working the two-car crash, 35 southbound just past 95th. You're going to want to scoot to the right through here. It is the left lane that is blocked. And then we've got a crash. Let's see, it is 29 northbound just past 169 highway, right lane blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, so I can read to you a text that I got. I got permission to read it. I'll read that to you here coming up in a bit, and let's update people. So, Rob, you have been in touch with the mayor's handlers, people, inner circle, whatever phrase you want to use. Do we have an idea of when the mayor will be on the show today?
The belief as of now is it'll be after 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Still TBD on hard time, but after 4.
After 4 o'clock, but before 5:30.
That is the window I have been given.
Okay. All right. That's what we're working on today. So I told you guys, we are doing everything in our power. Our plan and expectation is that the mayor of Kansas City will be on the show today. All right. Step one, let me read to you guys the text that I got, and then we'll move on. CDOT. The Royals met with the Twins to see how they could fit a ballpark in a limited area. Someone also told me that the Royals recently met with Crown Center and the Halls to get their approval to check off on the move. So I know the Royals were not a part of the announcement today. I have a pretty clear picture of when they actually are going to make the announcement, when I think we're going to get renderings. I was told to not read that part of the text message, but just the first part. I know today that the Royals were not a part of the announcement. The Royals and the city are working together on this, and this is just step one in the process of something that I think over the next 30 days, I would say between now and the draft, I think that we will be done with this conversation and we will 100% have the answer. I think right now we 90% have the answer, 95% have the answer, but eventually the Royals have to stand before all of us and say that they are accepting this deal and that they are ready to shake hands and make an agreement on things in order for this thing to be a 100%. But I don't know how you can hear the news of today and not think that that is the direction that we are headed. We now officially have our answer. The Royals are moving to Washington Square Park. They are moving to 100 East Pershing Road.
I also think, now maybe this is just me reading between the lines, there's no way the city goes about this without having the blessing of the Royals saying yes on the back end, right? Like, it would be the biggest political catastrophe in maybe the history of the city if the mayor and the city council and everyone goes forward with this plan and they go through all the legal hurdles, they go through all the city council meetings, they go through the finance committee, they go through all the subcommittees and the blah, 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 to then at the end be like, all right, everything's squared away, Royals, here's our plan for Washington Square Park, and the Royals say, no thanks. So it wasn't part of the announcement today, but there's just no world that I live in where the Royals are unaware this is happening or are preparing to say no to this plan.
All right, so let me read to you a little bit from this 41 story, and then we'll give our commentary. This is from the press release that came out earlier today. The new Royals Downtown Stadium is not just a stadium development. When it is complete, it will be the largest single economic development project in the history of downtown Kansas City. The project, with the current estimated investment of $1.9 billion into our city's workers, businesses, and our downtown, will deliver tens of thousands of guests to downtown Kansas City, 81 additional nights per year, and will have more than 300 days per year of year-round engagement, tourist activity, conferences, concert, and special event activation. The mayor of Kansas City, Quinn Lucas, says that the ordinance, if passed, would direct city officials to work with the Kansas City Royals on a series of agreements to build the stadium. We believe that this meeting is happening on Tuesday. Is that fair to say, Rob? I don't know if that's public knowledge now or not.
That's one of the beliefs.
The plan is that meeting that we are talking about, the ordinance to pass this, that vote happens on Tuesday. You do not have this announcement today on Thursday if you are worried on Tuesday if you were going to get the vote or not. It is a foregone conclusion.
I actually believe that vote's next week on Thursday. There's like
sometime next week.
There's an open hearing, I believe, Tuesday.
So, for example, I guess maybe this is the best one-to-one way of describing it. Remember when they had to do that vote in Olathe about whether or not they were going to pass the practice facility? And we were like, of course, like why have they not passed the practice facility? That's what this feels like to me. Continue to go on. According to the ordinance, the city would contribute up to $600 million to the project through bonds and other financing sources. Quinn Lucas says that no new taxes will be required and the city will work to include community benefits that will reach every corner of the city. It then goes on with the quote, the site will remain part of the Kansas City and Parks recreation system. Quentin Lucas also says that the ordinance anticipates the state, through its Show Me Sports Investment Act, would fund up to 50% of the qualifying stadium costs. Again, he is scheduled to come on the show later today. So that's where the money is coming from. This is what Mayor Quinn Lucas has been coming on this show and talking about for a year now. They are going to move some of the Parks and Rec money, and they are going to move it over here where they don't have to go through a vote to be able to do this. They also don't have to go through Jackson County to be able to get this thing through. So it sounds to me, just based on that, we can ask, it sounds like Parks and Rec is going to technically own this land, and they are going to run it through that way. They're going to move some money around. They also are anticipating getting a massive check from the state to help keep the Royals on this side of state line and to pay for this thing. There is not a better deal out there for the Royals than this one. There is not a better deal. There's not a better deal in Kansas. There's not a better deal up north. There's not a better deal than the city of Kansas City is going to give them up to $600 million, and the state is willing to pay for 50% of whatever they go out there and build. There's no better offer than what they just got.
This was the absolute best deal available for the Royals. And it's a deal that makes sense for the Royals. They get downtown baseball. They're in the heart of downtown. If what you're hearing is correct, and they've talked to the halls, there's a entertainment district built already ready-made for them. They're on the streetcar lines. You can connect to other existing entertainment districts. You get literally everything you've been wanting if you're the Royals. Not only is there not a better deal in town, there's not a better location available in town. This is a check for John Sherman and co.
Yeah, I also think, too, and we will ask Mayor Quentin Lucas about this, is I think a lot of comparisons have been made to Atlanta and them trying to build the Battery. It seems very simple to me. They are building Target Field. That's what they are building. Target Field is based on 8 acres of land. Right now, they're currently at a little more than 5 acres. They'll have to buy up some of the other stuff and build a little bit more room. But I think it's safe to say they're not going to have 25 acres of land to build this downtown stadium on. It is going to be on a very compact part of land. So I 100% trust my guy that sent me that. They have been talking to the Twins. How did you do this? How did you get this done? The Twins, they built their stadium on 8 acres of land. It is one of the most compact and smallest footprints in Major League Baseball. I can give you the dimensions if you want for Target Field, but that's the plan. Now, are they still planning on building the entertainment district? Are they planning on building their own shops, their own restaurant? What does that mean for Power and Light? What does that mean for Union Station? What does that mean for Crown Center? I mean, all of these things are within a 2-mile radius of each other. But we spent a lot of time talking about Atlanta. They are not building what Atlanta has. Atlanta built their stadium in the suburbs far away from everybody with all the land and space. That is not what the Royals are doing. They're building Target Field.
And listen, I know that John Sherman has mentioned the Battery a bunch. I don't believe John Sherman ever wanted to build the Battery in Kansas City. That first press conference, I could probably find the audio. He's sitting there with spring training with Andy Rogers.
You can't build downtown and also want the Battery. You can't want both.
Correct. I think the Battery conversation started when the vote went the opposite direction he thought it would go. And the Royals thought it would go. It's not just him. I guess there are a lot of people involved. So I think once they found out the vote went a certain direction, then they started, talking about the Battery would be great because they had to start envisioning other options. But in their heart of hearts, when they first showed up as ownership group, they talked about downtown. The Battery in Atlanta is not even a little bit downtown. Is it even an actual Atlanta proper, or is it in one of the little cities outside? Now I think about it in Atlanta.
I think it's in Atlanta, but I think it's way out. It's way out in Atlanta. That's what I think.
I know, the Texas Rangers are not in Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys are not in Dallas. I didn't know if it was a situation like that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've been to the Cowboys Stadium before. I mean, it's a little ways out of the city. I mean, it's right there, but it's a little bit ways out of the city. And yeah, the Rangers Park is directly across the street from there. One of my friends just texted me and asked, where is the stadium going to be? So basically, just to give you an idea, you know where the Westin Crown Center is? It's going to be directly across the street from there. That's where it's going to be. So, I mean, you can just, the Westin Crown Center, right across the street from there, I would say maybe a block and a half from the Western Auto Lofts. Probably a best way of saying it. Directly across the street from Union Station.
Across the streetcar line from Union Station.
Yeah, across the streetcar line from Union Station, across the street from the Western Crowd Center, there is a green space there that you have driven past a million times. Maybe you've never been, like, actually to the park, but you've driven past it a million times. That is where it is.
The big question for me now is, and I don't think we're getting an answer today, I don't believe there's space there for an entertainment district, but there are.
I don't think so either.
But that area does have an existing entertainment district kind of built in, and the streetcar is down the block from an entertainment district.
Sure.
So there's a way to still have an entertainment district. It might not be Royal owned anymore.
Yeah, for sure. So the best way of describing it is, I'm reading it. This is directly from the Star. Washington Square Park is on 100 East Pershing Road. It is a 5-acre park located east of Union Station, north of Crown Center. They will have to create a little bit more space than what they already have. So that's the conversation with the mayor when he comes on. I mean, Target Field is based on 8 acres. They need a little bit more room to build exactly what they are planning on building than what they currently have. So that means some of the stuff there has to be torn down. You have to make space for it in order to create what you are talking about. But yeah, that they need a little bit more space than what they currently have.
I bet I don't know what's on the north end of that park. Now I think about it, I wonder what's there if you can maybe create some space in that direction, maybe widen some street on either side. They'll find a way, but I think they can fit it mostly in there, no problem. And remember, I believe Charlie Keegan was on the show and talked about that blue KC building, Blue Cross and Blue Shield building down there, which I believe is now vacant. They can tear that down to make more space too.
Text line 913-586-7965. Let me read this, actually. I just saw this come across. This is from Nathan Willett, I believe. Maybe you can try to get him on the show. He wrote a proposal, quote, "Public feedback is crucial before voting for any stadium proposal. I did not join my other colleagues in sponsoring the proposed legislation. Any proposal should be approved by the taxpayers of Kansas City. In the meantime, I will make sure that the details of the proposal do not harm police and fire budgets." This guy actually follows me on Twitter. Let me try to send him a message, see if he wants to come on the show. I'd be happy to get his thoughts on all of this. I do think it is important to note in all of this, it does sound to me like the mayor has the approval of the city to go do this. I also think it is very, very safe to say there is nothing that we have heard that would signify that they need anybody else's permission to get this done. They are not going to have a public vote on this thing. I don't think they need to ask more people's opinion on what do you think about this. So I understand, because I've been reading the text line. Well, why don't they do this? Why don't they do this? You are allowed to suggest they've made their decision on what they are going to do. They made their decision. This is where the stadium is going to be. They are not staying at the Truman Sports Complex. They're not moving it to East Village. Well, why don't they? That was a great conversation to have for 2 years. Today is step one of them telling us their plan. Their plan is putting the stadium right there. So you can either be cool with the idea or not cool with the idea. Again, I'm simply just the messenger here. I am telling you what they are telling us. They are telling us they have the money that they need. They are creating the space and the land that they need. This is where they are putting the baseball stadium, and you can live with it. Rob, you can say it on the air. Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
The mayor's people said it's looking like 4 o'clock, but they will keep me posted. So 4 o'clock, the mayor.
You want to take a bet on that?
I mean, like 4:03 is the mayor still. That counts.
You think so?
What's the over? Set the over on the number.
I don't think he comes on that first segment. I think he'll be on the show.
Well, that first segment, we know it floats. It can go all the way to
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it floats. He also floats. He's a floater too.
Are you saying under 425? I'll take that bet all day.
This seems like something came up. It'll be closer to 430. The mayor and I've done this before, and I'm not new to this, not at all. All right, let's move on from this. We can get back to it. I'll read your text. You can call in if you want to, 913-586-7965. We are expecting the mayor to call into the show in 30 minutes. We'll see if he calls into the show in 30 minutes. Let's talk a little bit of draft in the short term. Here is Dane Brugler. He was on the station earlier today. This is who he thinks the Chiefs will take with the 9th overall pick.
I'll stick with Ruben Bain. I think he fits their profile with what they want as an edge rusher. We know that kind of want to get better at that area. I think it'd be tougher if Carnell Tate's on the board. It makes it maybe a tougher decision, but Ruben Bain, I think, makes sense for this team.
This is the only question I have about Ruben Bain. It's not even an arm-related thing. I don't know enough one way or the other. I can't even pretend. I don't know enough one way or the other. Is he going to be there at number 9? I think we all agree. If Ruben Bain is there at 9, I firmly believe the Chiefs will draft him at 9 if he is on the board. I don't know if he is going to be on the board or not. If he is on the board, they are running to take him. I would be surprised if they took another player if Bain was on the board. Like if Bain's on the board and they took Caleb Downs, I would be stunned just based on what I think their needs are, what I think they like, what I think they value. Historically, offensive line, defensive line, they try to build their team through the trenches. If he is there, I think they will take him. What if he is not there? And are they willing to move up in the draft to ensure that they can get him? Because if they're willing to trade up to 7 with the Commanders, then I think they have a chance of getting Ruben Bain. They probably will go get Ruben Bain. He is the only player, I guess maybe outside David Bailey, but I think Bailey could be off the board by then. The only player I could see them trading up for at this portion of the draft, like the top 10, if they went from 9 to 7, in my opinion, they are only going up for one thing. They are going up for pass rush, and they are worried that pass rush will not be there, and they want to get who they think is the best pass rusher. They would go get Bain. So that's the only question to me. It's not a, do I think the Chiefs would take him? It's a, absolutely, I think they would take him. Is he there, and or are they willing to move up to go get him?
I can't answer who's going to be there or not. I can read every mock draft under the sun. I really can't. It doesn't mean anything. He may or may not be there. I do like the fact the Chiefs are doing their due diligence based on the top 30 visit information we're getting from Rappaport, all the people. And top 30 visit, grain of salt, but okay, they're doing top 30 visits. It's been the receivers you've heard of, and it's been the edge rushers you've heard of. They aren't doing top 30 visits with, whomever. It's been Malachi Lemon had one. I believe Jordan Tyson had one. Ruben Bain had one. David Bailey had one. The Chiefs have been doing their due diligence on the 2 positions that everyone feels like they need. So at this point, whether it's up or down, I feel like the Chiefs know what they are looking for when it comes to wide receiver and edge rusher. And actually, Ruben Bain's in town today. We assume he's listening to the show. But it feels like they are doing their due diligence on those 2 positions, at least for what they're doing at 9. I don't know what they're going to do at 29, but it feels like at 9, they are definitely targeting receiver and edge rusher based on the top 30 visit info.
Which I would say that's their 2 biggest needs. Those are their 2 biggest needs. Their 2 biggest needs are pass rush and wide receiver. So I completely understand it. We are going to pump all of our resources for this 9th overall pick to learning everything we need to learn about David Bailey, Arvell Reese, and Ruben Bain. We are pumping all of our resources into learning everything we can about Malachi Lemon, Carnell Tate, and Jordan Tyson. That makes all the sense in the world to me. And, obviously, you bring in Caleb Downs. Why would you not? Even if you don't draft these guys, you're going to go against them at some point. You're going to have to play against these guys. So, you getting more information is never going to be a negative. But I'm with you. It does feel like we already kind of known this is their interest in the direction that they want to go, but they are pumping a lot of resources into trying to address this as well.
Now, the question with Bain will become, how much do the Chiefs care about arm length? Jay Binkley really cares about arm length. He's a no on Ruben Bain because he's a T-Rex. A lot of people, and Dane Brugler said it this morning with Fesco and Dusty, arm length doesn't really matter. High-level production is what mattered. Ruben Bain was productive in the biggest games of the year. So I feel like that will be the big knock on Bain, and maybe he is there at 9 because some people get scared off by the fact he has short arms. I don't know, but I'm hoping today when he's at Arrowhead, the Chiefs plot a tape measure and figure out what his arm length is because some people have it short, some people have it normal.
The Royals have released a statement, quote, "The Kansas City Royals appreciate the work of our city's leadership, the mayor, the city manager, and the city council, as they take important steps toward continued economic development for our city. We are grateful for their engagement in this process, as well as for their critical work for the state of Missouri, and look forward to more detailed conversations. We continue to consider solutions that we think are best for our team, our fans, and our community." So the Royals are continuing to play this thing to the vest in what seems like a foregone conclusion. At some point in the next 2 weeks, they are planning and preparing to take a substantial windfall.
Did Google Gemini make that statement? That's just word salad, man. That's nothing.
You thought the Royals were going to say something? I mean, I'm just saying is if the Royals were going to say something today, they would have been present at the press conference. So I didn't think that the Royals were going to say something today.
That's the epitome of like corporate jargon. Through synergy and effort, we.
I mean, the Royals are getting offered $1.5 billion, roughly, to build this stadium. $1.5 billion in downtown real estate to build this. Like, what are we talking about? Like, yes. If they're not going to 119th and all, and they just been offered $1.5 billion to take this, where do you think they're going if they're not taking this deal? Where are they going? They've also said they're not moving too. So I just the writing is on the wall. Maybe they're not prepared to make their announcement, which they don't have to be prepared to make their announcement. But the city has absolutely pushed their chips in the middle of the table. We came up with 600. The state is going to pay for half of this. You say it's worth $1.9 billion. So what's that, 9.8, 9.9? We've offered a substantial amount of money for you guys to stay in Kansas City, Missouri. I don't really see the Kansas City Royals turning down. That's more money than what they paid to buy the team. They spent $1 billion to buy the team. They're about to get over $1 billion to build their stadium. Yeah, they're not passing up on that deal. We are expecting the mayor of Kansas City to join the show coming up in 20 minutes. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
FanDuel has your back with a special Mulligan Bet Back token this week in golf. Once the tournament starts, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another shot. Now you've got protection to take that sleeper pick or even make a big, bold prediction. So go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. For this week's big tournament, I have my eye on Patrick Reed. He has performed well in this before, and he's plus 3,000. Backing someone to win it all? Go for it. Like someone for a top 5 finish? Lock it in with confidence, because if it doesn't hit, you've got that mulligan in your back pocket ready to go. So go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Warmer weather, longer days, and a juicy steak sizzling on the fire. Ah, smells like grilling season is here. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Choose bacon-wrapped chicken grillers for $3.99 each. Marinated chicken breasts $1.99. Thick-cut pork chops 3 for $5, and specialty brats just 8 for $10. Don't forget your favorite marinade, rubs, and sauces, and fire up the grill this Friday through Sunday only at Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee makes our life easier every single day. Not only do they have great quality customer service and value every single day at Hy-Vee, they help us out and they take the pressure of shopping off our plate. We've got our Perks Plus membership. We upgraded from the regular Hy-Vee Perks membership because with Perks Plus, we get free grocery delivery or express pickup, plus even more exclusive benefits and savings like fuel saver deals all day long. So enroll today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Only at Hy-Vee.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
America, look around. Everywhere you go, prices are still high, rates have been whipsawing markets, and the debt and spending don't exactly scream stability. Experts say diversifying with intention is the #1 secret account that all American smart money uses to hedge against instability. Monetary Gold has been around since 2000, witnessing multiple economic setbacks. If you call now, Monetary Gold will cover up to a lifetime of your IRA fees on qualified accounts. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
96.5 The Fan's draft coverage is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, the Leavenworth PD, and the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, some good news. The crash is cleared, but it will take a few minutes to unwind. 35 southbound just past 95th. Give it a few minutes and you'll be home free. Crash still up at 29 northbound past 169 highway. Scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Can I tell you guys something? Let's talk about the Masters for just a little bit. I'm not the biggest golf guy in the world. I mean, I certainly have an appreciation for it. I can swing a golf club, but I'm not going to make it seem like I'm out there on the links. I'm not a weekend warrior, but I appreciate those of you that are. You know what I realized? I realized that the Masters is one of the last pure things that we have in sports. Almost everything that we have in sports is tainted by greed. I love college basketball. Why do they play the Final Four in a football stadium? We don't play any other basketball game in a football stadium, but when it's a chance to put 60, 70, 80,000 people in this arena, we don't care about how it affects the quality of the game and the play. We're just trying to make as much money off these 3 basketball games as possible. The National Football League, they're starting on Wednesday this year so they can make room for a Thursday game that is going to take place in Australia. The NFL sold out to money a long time ago. At almost every single turn, they have sold out for the bag. We've all been to a sporting event. Try to go get yourself a popcorn. $37. Try to get yourself something to drink. $52. Try to get a hot dog. $106 for a hot dog. The Masters works. The Masters is still really cool. They are the only people in sports that are just steadfast in their way of we don't care what the outside world is doing. We are doing it our way. You want a box of popcorn? It's $1.50. You want to get a chicken sandwich? It's $2.50. You want to get merch? You can only get this merch if you come to the venue. You don't have to go to the World Series to get World Series stuff. You don't have to go to the Kentucky Derby to get Derby apparel or go to WrestleMania or go to the Super Bowl. Plenty of you have Super Bowl things that didn't go to the Super Bowl. You can only get Masters stuff if you go to the Masters. We don't care about this. We could have a store online that we just print money off, but no, some things are more sacred than that. The brand, the imaging, it matters. I think the Masters is cool. I really do. I think the course is cool. I think the legacy of it is cool. I think the exclusivity is cool. I just think it's the last pure sporting event that we have. Every other sporting event that we have had, they have sold their souls to the capitalism devil a long time ago. They really have. They sold their soul. Not the Masters. They've never sold their soul. This is how they're doing things.
I will say real quickly, Masters Coverage of the Drive is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. The world's coming to Kansas City. Is your parking lot ready? Gann Asphalt and Concrete ensures your parking lot is inviting, safe, and cost-effective. One contractor, all things parking lot. Carrington, I agree with you, but let me ask you this, because there's a growing unease in the golf community about the Masters, because they're starting to do some goofy things and invite some people in and around the event that's kind of tainting what you're talking about.
Because they let Jason Kelsey do the par 3 contest?
Why is The Miz at the Masters? He is there to promote WrestleMania, which is on ESPN Plus or on Disney Plus or whatever.
I didn't know The Miz was even there until just now.
The Miz was there yesterday. Kevin Hart's running around doing all sorts of stuff.
I don't think they care as much about the par 3 contest. I just think the par 3 contest, it's clear what they're willing. Like, all right, hey, we understand. It's on ESPN. The par 3 contest, it's kind of more for families. It's kind of more for kids. Everybody's kind of goofing off. Everybody's kind of messing around. Yeah, so to me, doing those things on Wednesday and doing those things on Thursday to Sunday, they have never sacrificed or never compromised. You remember, this was maybe when we were kids, there was the whole, they don't let women in, everybody was mad about it, and they pulled all the sponsors. If you remember, the Masters just said, okay, how much does it cost? They bought the commercials for the event. Now, I'm not here to defend the history of Augusta National, but you know how player that is? Yeah, no, we don't care what you guys think. We don't care if you pull the sponsors. We got the money. That's fine. Tell us what they went to CBS and they asked CBS how much money they stood to lose, and they said, it's okay. We'll just give you the money for it, and we'll just continue to show our event. I mean, I do appreciate, though, we're going to do things our way. I do appreciate that whole thing. Let me give you guys the leaderboard. Sam Burns is the leader. I've never heard of this man a day in my life. He good?
I mean, he plays well at the U.S. Open every year, so yeah. He was someone that the boss was kicking himself for not betting on earlier this week.
Okay, I just didn't know. I just saw this guy. Now, I do know who Rory McIlroy is. He is tied for the lead right now. He won last year. You didn't think I knew that when it came to Rory McIlroy. I did know that. He is tied for the lead. Those two have a 2-stroke lead. I don't even have the full names up, but I know these guys. Jason Day, Patrick Reed, Justin Rose, Scotty Scheffler, all of these guys are 3 under. Yeah. You didn't think I knew that there. You see, I like keeping you on your toes. You don't think I know all of this. You would probably think I didn't know how to pronounce Xander Schauffele. You didn't think I knew that.
I actually did know that because we played an inordinate amount of the...
We did play a lot of the Tiger Woods golf. We did play a lot of Tiger Woods. Is this the Fred Couples, or is this like his son or something? It's like Fred Couples Jr.?
This is the Fred Couples. He usually plays
well. That man has to be 171 years old. How old is Fred Couples?
I'm betting he's in his 60s. 65.
I'm serious. How old is Fred Couples? He's 66 years old.
I would bet 65.
He's out here shooting like that?
Every year on Thursday, he shoots well. It's a time-honored tradition. And then you know what happens? He wakes up tomorrow, he's 65 years old, his body is sore, and he fights to make the cut. I've seen this.
You're saying he's not making the cut. You're saying he's cooked.
No, he'll make the cut, but on Sunday when you turn on Masters coverage, he's in the clubhouse. He's done. He's not out there.
I don't know why we're disrespecting my dog like that. No, we're not going to do that, man.
66-year-olds don't win the Masters.
We're not going to do that. No, maybe this is one of those stories. Can we just continue with more? I have more golf takes today. You didn't think you were getting ready for that. You didn't think I had a lot of golf takes today, but I do have a lot of golf takes. I'm going to tell you something that I've learned very early on in my life. There are 3 people that are usually very honest with you. Children. Children usually don't lie. If you ask a kid a question, they're normally going to tell you. They're pretty honest. Drunk people. What's that saying? A sober mind says a drunk mind says sober thoughts.
Yep, that's
drunk
the saying.
People, very, very honest. Old people. There's nothing like an old person. At the end of the life, the old person is going to tell you exactly how they feel. So Gary Player, who I'm not trying to be funny. I did not know Gary Player was still with us. Gary Player is 90 years old. This man was born in 1935. Gary Player, one of the greatest golfers that ever lived. Somebody asked him about Tiger Woods. I mean, if there was anybody that was going to give us the real, it was going to be Gary Player. He said, quote, all you got to do is don't drive a car and get a chauffeur. That's all he said. That's all he said. Then they went back and asked him. Then he said, do I blame him for taking medicine? Hell no. He has sleep deprivation. Do I blame him for taking something to help him sleep? No. But I don't think he should drive a car anymore. When you're taking that much medication, it's dangerous when you're driving a car. It's just as dangerous when you look at your cell phone in the car. Tiger. Your driving has gotten so bad that a 90-year-old man told you shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car anymore.
To be fair, I bet that 90-year-old doesn't drive his own car
Agreed,
anymore.
but I'm just saying is
he would know.
Whenever an old person, because we all have this old person in our life. Old people are reluctant to give up the keys. They're reluctant to give up the keys. I've been driving for 50 years. Old people are reluctant. Whenever a 90-year-old person tells you, hey, dog, it's over. He told you it's over. You need to stop driving a car. He's got 40 years on you. When that listens, if Gary Player comes to you and tells you got to stop driving, hey, Tiger, you got to stop driving, man. You got to stop driving. You can't do this. Gary Player, I'm sitting here looking at it. Gary, I didn't mean to disrespect you. The last major golf tournament that Gary Player won was in 1978. He won the Masters. He actually has 9 major championships. You know that about Gary Player? Won the Masters 3 times, the PGA Championship twice, the U.S. Open once, and he won the British Open 3 times in his career. So great, phenomenal career for Gary Player. Did not know he was still with us. Salute to you, Gary.
Good for Gary. I mean, was he the honorary starter today? Was it him and Tom Watson and Jack Nicklaus?
You're asking now. See, now you're going.
You knew who Justin
Now you're going
Rose
a little
was.
bit too in depth. I don't know all these. I don't have all these answers to these questions. All right. I gave you almost all the golf knowledge that I have. I don't have much more than that. Oh, Jordan Spieth. Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland's 200. He went to KU, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He played KU in Washburn, right?
Played basketball at Washburn, then transferred to KU. Rock chalk.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we are expected to be joined by the mayor of Kansas City. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
All right, some good news. The crash is cleared, but it will take a few minutes to unwind. 35 southbound just past 95th. Give it a few minutes and you'll be home free. Crash still up at 29 northbound past 169 highway. Scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
This is Blake Fanning with Shawnee Mission Ford. We promise to continue giving you reason to shop at Shawnee Mission Ford in 2026. Great selection of new and used vehicles, large discount, top trade allowance, and mobile service when you need it. There's no reason to go anywhere else. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more in 26.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
The NFL offseason is here, but the action never stops. The draft is right around the corner, and Heed the Call NFL podcast with Dan Hanzus and Mark Sessler is your pro football destination. Prospects, team needs, and pick-by-pick coverage of draft weekend.
Heed the Call covers all things NFL, and we have fun. No fake hot takes or boring data dumps here. Just entertaining football talk from your favorite buds at the bar.
So come hang out with the Heed the Call heroes for football news, analysis, and mirth. All the mirth. Follow and listen to the Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu. Well, now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here for Renner Garage Door, America's oldest family-owned garage door company, serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
RENNER.
Join us at the Fans Draft Party at the Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill on April 23rd for your chance to win $965 in our draft contest. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let me read to you guys the headline right now on the Kansas City Star. The city of Kansas City is unveiling a $600 million plan for a Royals downtown stadium. Here are the details. You can read this story or you can get the details from our next guest. He is the mayor of Kansas City, Missouri. Mayor Quentin Lucas joins us on the show today. Mayor Q, I'm happy we have positive news to discuss today.
I had to come back. I had a lot of talk to say in previous months and previous calls. One thing is, we've been saying forever is we would get a deal figured out. I'm proud of this step. Obviously, there is still more work to do. You got to tie up final documents, just like everybody's been seeing with the Chiefs and their partners, and we're looking forward to doing that here with the Kansas City Royals. This is a key and important step, but to somebody who has been wondering where do they go, today is a huge step in the right direction of downtown, of KCMO, and more than anything, that this team stays here in this region in a transformative ballpark.
All right, so let's just start with this. How did we get here with this news today?
This has been years of work. So after the 2024 election, I went out to Kauffman Stadium probably about 2 weeks after the vote, asked to meet with the Royals. I appreciated the time of John Sherman, Brooks Sherman, their leadership, and then there was a lot of talk. They had to make business decisions in terms of how they evaluate things. Frankly, they are still in a position where they have more evaluation to do, but we kept working. I think you have seen, frankly, some great collaboration. A few of the figures have changed in recent years. We have a newish governor and Mike Kehoe. The new county executive is a game changer, frankly, in Phil Lavoda from Frank White. And, we've had pretty strong and solid support from our newish city manager, Mario Vasquez. So a big part of it was making sure we stayed in the conversation the whole time. Y'all see me go to spring training. We've been at everything else. I think we have run the numbers to try to be as fair as possible to our voters, to our taxpayers. And that's why we're sitting here right now on something that is, look, this is a game-changing project. This isn't moving a stadium from just one end of the community to another. This is investing in a part of our region that for the last 30 years we have put real investment in, and frankly where we have seen real change.
Can you take us through the next 3 to 5 days, because there's a couple more votes that need to happen between yourself and the city council? Can you take us through the next 5 to 7 days of this project?
Today, in terms of where we're going, this ordinance was introduced not just by me, but I was able to have the co-sponsorship, and I appreciate it, of my city council colleagues. I believe we have all but 3 as co-sponsors, so that means that there are 10 of us that support this item. That's a majority, a supermajority, so it looks favorable for passage there. We will have some conversation at the Board of Parks and Recreation Commissioners in Kansas City. That's a group that's appointed by the mayor, but they are charged with overseeing parks like this one. This will be a stadium in a park, a lot like Soldier Field. I've been up there to see the Chiefs play. Many others have, and so you will have that sort of setup, but that is our short-term time frame. And then after that, of course, it's our city manager continuing to work closely with the Royals, with the state of Missouri, with all of our regional partners to see that we can get this all done, wrapped up. And as I've said to people, I'd really like a groundbreaking in the first quarter of 2027. I'm still mayor then, as you know, and if we could even do better, the last quarter of 2026.
Right now, we're talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quinn Lucas. A lot of things to ask him about this announcement that the city has put together around $600 million for a downtown stadium project for the Kansas City Royals. Is there a reason why the Royals were not present today at the announcement?
I think that we continue to have strong conversations with the Royals, but John Sherman made it clear on his opening day interview that we want to make sure that, the financing is in place. This is that key, really in some ways, final step, even though there are obviously subsequent steps to when you're selling bonds and all of that, to get that financing in place. I know that with passage next week, we'll get the big event, we'll get CDOT Live out in the streets, hopefully bring you out downtown, but we're going to make sure that we get this important part of our work done, and it was the view of the city that the best way to do that is me talking to my colleagues, us making sure that we're aligned. We were able to do that. It was frankly kind of boring government stuff, but boring government stuff that's going to lead to, hopefully a wonderful event here coming up soon.
Are you expecting them to have an announcement similar to the one that you had soon?
I think that our next steps are to make sure that we get this done. That's where the pressure will be. That's what I want to make sure we get done, and to make sure that we're talking to the members of the public. I know there's some of your listeners who are saying they should never leave Kauffman Stadium. We hate that you're even trying to evaluate any of this. So that's for us, and then I would hope that the next time we're all together, it is the Royals, it is the governor of Missouri, it's us in Kansas City. Jackson County will determine what its role may be, but hopefully everybody's together in a very clear announcement where this community can once and for all really celebrate this discussion and ultimately be done, right? We have been through a lot. We have all learned way too much about stadium contracts and deals and what works and what doesn't, and I'm glad that we'll at least be in a space now where we know that our professional teams are staying here in Kansas City for the long term, and we know that the Royals will be generating 81 nights a year of great activity in downtown Kansas City. That's where I want to be. That's what we'll be if this all passes next week.
This is my perception of things, and I want you to tell me if I'm wrong. My perception is I think the Royals have publicly stated what they want and what is important to them. It seems to me in reading on this that you guys are providing everything that they've asked for. The funding is there. We'll get to the land portion of this coming up in just a little bit. You've got the streetcar right there. You've got the downtown access. This provides the Royals a lot of the things that they initially said they wanted when they said that they were moving out of the Truman Sports Complex.
I think this hits a nail on the head of everything that they said. The message I go way back to, if you're in the mid-2020s, Mr. Sherman, I sent what I thought was a very good letter to the community about why they're evaluating downtown. And all the things that were mentioned then are as true today. You want to be in the center of a region, frankly, and why I think this is, of the deals that we've been talking about over recent months, this is one of the best. You're in the core of the city. You're the heart of any convention. You're the heart of any flyover shot. You're next to residential population that has been booming over the last 30 years. You're next to public transportation and infrastructure. For better or worse, I know some people don't like downtown, but literally every highway in the region comes in and out of downtown Kansas City. This is central to our region. This isn't an edge. This isn't everybody hopping on I-70 after a football game, which may happen on either side of the metro, by the way. This is something that I think is great for Kansas City and the Kansas City region. It allows us to compete with other downtowns. And I will say this to you. This isn't just about baseball. This is about a venue that is going to be doing work more than 300 days a year, a venue that's now going to be part of all of our pitches here in Kansas City government. And I think it's going to bring more excitement and energy to downtown, which is good for our region long term.
Right now, we're talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas, talking to him about the major development today, the biggest step that we have ever seen in a project towards a downtown stadium for the Kansas City Royals. So I'm going to ask you a couple of the questions that I think people have. The number one question is, this $600 million, where is it coming from with the city?
$600 million, and it's a lot, and it's an important investment. It would come from redirections that exist in some ways today, right? Today we have two teams that play out of Truman Sports Complex. They generate a certain amount of tax revenue, sales taxes and beyond, and our calculation is a conservative one, but is based off of what we're generating today from baseball. So that is estimate one. We will throw in infrastructure investment in connection with it. The state of Missouri is going to be an important partner. They passed something called the Show Me Sports Investment Act in a special legislative session last year, and that's where you look to the public financing of the project. What I'm impressed by is that, if you look at the numbers, and I'm not getting ahead of the Royals, and they'll have a chance to talk about all this soon enough, but you're looking at substantial private investment, a team that truly wants to be in Kansas City, that wants to grow with Kansas City, and Frank is going to pay real money to be part of that. So I think that what we are seeing is something that doesn't necessarily have people saying, we like what's happening, but we're worried that we're going to go broke or it's going to redirect too much and all of that. Instead, you have an incredibly fiscally responsible arrangement that helps deliver on 30 years of redevelopment in downtown Kansas City that, frankly, I think everyone in our region will be proud of, will be a center point for pictures, for experiences, and it's going to change Kansas City.
Maybe this is more of a question for the Royals than it is for you guys. Where is everybody going to park?
Yeah, well, if you come to, first of all, this has been tested. A whole bunch of people, maybe not your listeners, maybe your listeners, I won't judge, but Chapel Roan played 2 shows in downtown Kansas City, both of which had above 30,000 people. Basically the exact size of what you will expect of a strong attendance at a Kansas City Royals game downtown. And frankly, the ingress and egress, as I saw, was good. We closed the street to help people get in and out. The streetcar now goes in 2 directions. And the thing that downtown is special for, as compared to building something by a highway, is that, yes, you still have the highways coming in every direction, but you also have the core of the city. So you have people who are leaving just through the city streets, and you're on the street grid like normal, and you have public transportation. And, by the way, you have 19,000 parking spots within a 10-minute walk at Crown Center, at Union Station, which adds about 3,000, and, of course, all the lots all around the Crossroads area in downtown. This is something that is going to work, and what I say to people worried about parking, I was in St. Louis 2 weeks ago. I didn't go for a Blues game. One was going on downtown when I was there. You know what? If my friends in Eastern Missouri can figure it out, then I know we can too, and I think it's going to be additive to our businesses in particular, but it's also going to be something that will work well for Kansas Cityans on the whole.
A lot of people have made mention of the Battery in Atlanta. I don't know if there's enough room there for maybe what the Royals' idealistic vision is. If you look at Minnesota and Target Field, it's built on around 8 acres of land. Right now, the Washington Square Park space is around 5 acres of land. Talk to us about the space that is currently presented to the Royals, and it sounds to me like you guys are going to have to create more space in order to build this development there.
I think that there have been pretty active conversations with nearby real estate interests in connection with, how we go forward on ancillary development. My understanding from the team is that they stay incredibly interested in what is that ancillary development. Real estate people have been talking for years. I think you can have every confidence that a lot of that is figured out. And I think what you can expect is that this, of course, is not just a stadium project, but it's also a development project long term. I think it's going to be great for our community. I think it's going to be great, frankly, for the Royals as well.
Right now, we're talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas, mentioning the Battery. The Battery has its own entertainment district around it. There's an entertainment district 1.5 miles from where this proposed site is. Is the plan to incorporate that into this plan, or is the idea to give the Royals their own entertainment district?
I think there's an interest in a new engagement, a new entertainment district, something that allows us the chance to actually really catalyze what would be a new development. But, look, you're near Crown Center. You're near a lot of good excitement on that southern end of the Crossroads. And here's the thing that we are finally figuring out in Kansas City, CDOT. It is that, we want continuous activity. So for somebody who is coming from, let's say, the streetcar stop that's across from the World War I Museum, who comes through Crown Center, who goes to the stadium, who's walking through the Crossroads, who goes downtown, goes to the River Market, we don't have to have dead blocks in between. A normal place keeps that activity going. That's how you have the vibrancy downtown. And this stadium, which frankly at its core, and I put it on my social media, is an infill development project of a site. I know we're talking about the park. It's primarily a giant parking lot for a tenant that is now gone in Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's the type of infill we're dealing with that I think will frankly create even more great activity long term for Kansas City.
When you look at that area, do you think that area can handle another entertainment district? Because we're talking about Power and Light, we're talking about the Royals' proposed idea, and we're talking about the Crossroads, all within an 8-minute drive of each other. That's not even counting Westport. That's a 10-minute drive in the other direction. Is Kansas City large enough to support all of those things simultaneously?
We are large enough to support them all simultaneously, but I'll tell you the other part that we need to be. We need to keep growing. I mean, downtown, you from here, I'm from here. It was raggedy when we were real young, with the greatest respect, right? We had a Union Station that was basically closed except for the Amtrak stop, a Liberty Memorial that was crumbling. We had very real challenges. And look at what we have done now. And people might have said, can y'all handle a museum across the street from another museum, across the street from a museum and Crown Center, down from art galleries, all of that? Of course you can. That's why you invest in growth. That is what Kansas City needs to believe in. I think this is the real template for how we do it. And the benefit is it is all walkable, and you got something for everybody. I got a place to take my little kids, right? People have a place if they want to go out for drinks after the game late. If you want to go to a day game, you got an office building right nearby. This actually unleashes so much opportunity. That's why the city is interested in this investment. That's why the state of Missouri is. That's why, frankly, the Royals have been talking about downtown so long. So I think this is a game changer for all of the parties involved.
Who do you think is more excited about this, Union Station or Crown Center?
You know, I think all of them are pretty pumped about what's coming ahead. I've talked to all of those institutions, by the way. You know, Union Station lit itself up blue not long ago, but, you know, who I think should be most excited, I've gotten a few texts already today, restaurant owners in the Crossroads, small businesses in the Crossroads, the sort of people who have seen something special in this community and say, you know what, our investment's paying off because Kansas City is doing what it needs to do, investing in its core, making sure that we'll have a healthy region long term. And instead of those stories of decline that you see in some other major markets, maybe on the other side of this state, what you're catching is nothing but success. So that's what I'm excited about.
Talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quint Lucas, for a couple more minutes, getting his thoughts on the reaction to the city is proposing $600 million for a new development when it talks to the Kansas City Royals. Your detractors, and I'm sure you hear from them a lot of people are going to mention that you guys are moving around $600 million and it is not going to require a public vote, where the last time that this came up, it did require a public vote. What do you say to those people?
This is a totally different deal, right? So the substance of stadiums is the same. But I encourage people to look at the CPKC Stadium. If you don't know what that is, that's the women's soccer stadium on the riverfront. We did not vote on that, by the way. We had no vote. But what we had was, I think, an outstanding development where you had collaboration between the city of Kansas City, one of our agencies, and the state of Missouri. And now you've got this stadium that is world-renowned, a stadium that's hosting a whole bunch of events. You have $1 billion of multifamily development. You have investment in park space. You got a streetcar line running to it. We have changed Kansas City from a place that had a landfill before to a transformative economic development activity. And that was all done through the normal public boards and commissions that we have. This is my model, and frankly, this is why Kansas City is great in how we do development. We are not looking to levy a sales tax across all of Jackson County. We're not looking to capture sales tax revenues from a giant swath of our state. Instead, what we're doing right now is actually having a stadium fund much of its own development, and we think that with the ancillary developments can be a part of it, it's going to be a home run for the team and the city.
Couple more things here. Maybe this is a pure coincidence. It doesn't seem like to me. The 1% earnings tax get passed on Tuesday. You guys make this announcement on a Thursday. It feels like it is tied together in some way.
You know, look, I'm proud of the earnings tax passing. I think everybody in Kansas City who voted on it, but the earnings tax is not part of supporting this stadium. The earnings tax is going to be something that continues to pay for our firefighters, our police, our basic services. So when you come downtown, right, you have good roads, you can be safe, you have all the other stuff you need. But look, I mean, the timing I always said was near opening day. We didn't quite hit that, but I guess we got a lot going on this spring, Carrington.
No, we absolutely have a lot going on. Last question about the space portion of all of this. We mentioned it a little bit, where Target Field sits on around 8 acres. This is around 5 acres. One of people's issue with the Crossroads area was that you were going to have to displace homes and businesses, etc. I mentioned the fact that at some point I think you're going to have to create a little bit more space than what the proposed idea. How many businesses are affected in this area? And ultimately, when expansion happens, how many people could potentially be displaced?
No business needs to close. No business needs to move. We have one building on the site. That one building has been vacated. The business has moved to new headquarters. And so what we have right now is the opportunity for us to, I think, move forward aggressively, actively, and to be in a position where we can say, hey, we're not displacing people. We're not displacing residents. And I'm excited with where this needs to go ahead.
20 years from now, are you going to look back at this as being your legacy? Is that you were the mayor that got the downtown stadium built?
You know what? I think my legacy is going to be the fact that we put probably 10 to 15,000 Kansas Cityans in affordable housing. We got people off the streets. We did a lot of good work. But this is my opinion, is icing on the cake. I appreciate where we're going right now. I appreciate what we're doing. And I got a lot of work left to do because I know we need to make sure we share with the public why this is a good idea, how they can be engaged, and how this is a game changer for Kansas City.
That is the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas, joining us on the show today with the announcement that the city has earmarked $600 million for a downtown stadium plan for the Kansas City Royals. Mayor Q, it's always good when you come on with positive, good news. I'm looking forward to you doing this in a couple of weeks when the Royals officially sign on for this and we can start the process of breaking ground on a new downtown stadium. Really appreciate your time today.
We will get you out there. I look forward to having that celebration with you. Thanks for listening today.
Absolutely. That is the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas, joining us on the show. Very happy to get you guys' thoughts, opinions. This is my early read on things. We've had the mayor on at various times of this process. You can get a sense that there is a lot more confidence from Kansas City, more confidence than we have ever heard, I would say, in talking to them about what the plan is going to be. They are speaking much more from a place of control than I think they ever have before. Now, until every I is dotted, until every T is crossed, business is business, and things could turn left or right depending on it. But I don't know how you could hear what he just said. I don't know how you could now see that the city has come up with the money. They have $600 million. The state is chipping in. How you can hear that, hey, we're not adding any tax. We're not displacing any business. We're not building on top of somebody's home. The only place that we would have to potentially build over is a building that nobody is using right now. The city is talking from a place of, here's the plan, finally. And I would say that's all we've been waiting for the last 2 years. We have been waiting for that interview. We have a plan. We have the money. We have the space. We want it downtown. We believe that the Royals want it downtown. And we believe that very, very soon, the Royals are going to have their press conference and everybody is going to be there and everybody is going to shake hands about how long of a process this has been. But ultimately, the Royals are going where I think the area wants them to go. I firmly believe that the Kansas City metro area wants the Royals downtown. Maybe you want them at a different part of downtown. Maybe you like the Crossroad idea. Maybe you like the East Village idea. But I do think that a lot of people have resigned themselves to, I want the Royals in downtown Kansas City, and that seems like that's the plan, and they're speeding ahead towards it.
I agree with everything you said. This is the most confident I've heard the mayor, and he's talked like this before on the show, and he has talked about this lever they could pull, and now they've pulled the lever, and he feels understandably confident this is going to go in their direction. Let me ask you this, and this is me being a cynic, whatever. If this was always available to the Royals, the city, to get the Royals downtown, why wasn't this plan A? Because outside of parking, which is going to be a problem for Kansas Cityans who are used to the Truman Sports Complex, which is 98% parking versus downtown. Outside of that, why did they ever, fiddle around with a Crossroads, an East Village, a North KC, or whatever? If this lever was always available to be pulled, why did it take 3 years for them to pull said lever? Because it seems to check every box, at least the way I see it.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on this, and we can open up the phone lines. We can take your phone calls, 913-586-7965. I would say the thing that I disagree with him the most on is all three of those entertainment districts cannot flourish. It does not seem realistic to me to think that all three of those entertainment districts can flourish. If you were telling me that within a 5-minute span we are talking about, like a 5-minute net area, we are talking about the Crossroads area, we are talking about Power and Light, and we are talking about the new Royals area. I'm sorry, all three of them cannot flourish at the same time. I would say right now that Power and Light, some of the things that Power and Light has, people love new and shiny. What's stopping this new Royals area from going to whomever puts on Hot Country Nights and saying, you have been doing it here, why don't you do it here? I just don't know if all three of these ideas can work out at the same time. It just does not seem very feasible to me to think that can happen. The Crossroads is a completely different vibe, but I don't know if Power and Light and the Royals are going to have their ideal of shops and restaurants and bars in which all of them are flourishing. Just seems very unrealistic to me.
It does seem like a saturation problem. It does seem like there's too much of that. Maybe the Royals one is an expansion of an already existing Crown Center. I don't know, but you do raise a fair complaint. You as a downtown resident, you would have, from where you live to get to a Royals game at this proposed site, you would drive past Power and Light. You would drive past the Crossroads District. You would drive to Crown Center. You could easily have streetcar down to River Market. That feels like too many entertainment districts, or whatever districts packed into one square block area.
Yeah, I also think this. I think this is important to note. Someone on the text line says, CDOT, $600 million feels a little cheap. Is there any chance this number could go up? It is important to note, this is just the Kansas City number. This is not the money from Missouri, the state of Missouri. The state of Missouri is going to pay for 50% of the stadium. Kansas City is offering to throw on $600 million on top of what the state is offering. So yes, they are getting more than $600 million. I think by the end of this thing, we're going to be talking about the Royals got like $1.5 to $1.7 billion to build their baseball stadium. That is just the city's portion of this. I would imagine that Jackson County is going to throw something in. I don't know why they wouldn't throw something in. They are also going to benefit from the stadium being in Kansas City, Missouri. And the state of Missouri, it's already a bill that's put in place that they're going to pay for 50% of it. So that is just one small portion of it. The Royals are being offered a tremendous deal here. Downtown real estate, right across the street from Union Station, right across the street from the Crown Center, $1.5 billion to build your baseball cathedral. They are going to take this deal. We got time to take your phone calls, 913-586-7965. The Royals we are waiting to hear from the Royals, but the city, they have made their plan. They have come up with $600 million and a lot of space to give to the Kansas City Royals. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
FanDuel has your back with a special Mulligan Bet Back token this week in golf. Once the tournament starts, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another shot. Now you've got protection to take that sleeper pick or even make a big, bold prediction. So go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. For this week's big tournament, I have my eye on Patrick Reed. He has performed well in this before, and he's plus 3,000. Backing someone to win it all? Go for it. Like someone for a top 5 finish? Lock it in with confidence, because if it doesn't hit, you've got that mulligan in your back pocket ready to go. So go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between...
It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Crash downtown 70 westbound just past 71. It is the right lane blocked. And 435 westbound at Lackman. Scoot to the left through here. It is the right lane blocked there. I'm bound with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
All right, I got a text here. I don't think I'm going out of school to read this. Someone texted me and said, "C-Dot, your numbers are a little bit too high. What we believe is that the city is committing $600 million to this. The state of Missouri would contribute somewhere between $300 to $400 million on this, and the number of public money would be closer to $1 billion." It also got sent to me that this could end up being the biggest private investment to a public project in Kansas City history. So goes in line with what the mayor just said when he was on the show not too long ago, that there is going to be a lot of private money that goes into helping pay for this thing. But I mean, you receiving $1 billion in public money is certainly no short order. There is going to be a significant amount of cash that is going to be thrown the Royals' way to build their stadium in downtown Kansas City. But that is the text that I just got. Someone just sent this in and said, "C-Dot, if this ends up costing around $2 billion, do you think it's going to feel that way, or do you think this is going to be another cookie-cutter stadium? What will be unique about it?" I don't think I can answer that question today. We haven't even seen any renderings for it, but if there is one thing I know, I think that the fountains will continue to be basically the center of what they are building. And I think by the time it's all done and you see the fountains and then in the background you see the skyline of Kansas City, I think it's going to be really, really cool. Like, There are a lot of things that I have questions about the way that you guys have questions about. I mean, you have to think about this. This is the biggest change that the Royals have ever had in our life. The Royals are moving their stadium. I was born in 1988. I only know one place. They had the major stadium renovations, but it's important to note they didn't move stadiums while they were there. You just couldn't go in the outfield. And then it opened up a year later, and the stadium was beautiful, but the stadium has been in the same place my entire life. That is not going to be the case in 4 or 5 years. The Royals are moving somewhere else. Now, this is where I always wanted them to move. Now, I wish they had moved to the East Village. We kicked that idea away a long time ago, but I'm excited that they're in downtown Kansas City. I have zero doubts in my mind that by the time the stadium is done and by the time that we all get a chance to go and see it for ourselves, we're going to be thrilled about the changes to the stadium. So that is just not a question or a concern that I have about it. There are other things. I'm with you guys. Where are we going to park? Where are you going to get everybody? How is it going to handle game day traffic? What's the area around it going to be? Is the space big enough to be able to do everything that they are talking about? I don't want to make it seem like I'm coming into this with absolutely no questions or I'm not skeptical about everything. But if there's one thing I am not worried about at all, I am not worried about how cool the stadium is going to be, not even in the least bit.
I mean, at the very least, and I'm just thinking of other downtown stadiums across Major League Baseball. Some of the reason they're cool is the backdrop is cool.
For sure.
Like, Busch Stadium is cool, but I've been to a game at Busch Stadium. I watched Royals Cardinals there. Walking around the concourse of Busch Stadium, it's not like, oh man, it's so great. But you know what's cool? The arch in the background. Mm-hmm. I've never been to Pittsburgh. People rave about Pittsburgh Stadium.
People do love Pittsburgh Stadium.
I bet one of the reasons they rave about it, it has a cool backdrop. The river's right there. Like, I've been to the Rocky Stadium. It's a cool backdrop, the mountain. So I don't know which way the stadium will face. It's a lot of moving parts, but even if it's a, quote, cookie-cutter stadium, it being with the city as a backdrop is better than I-70. It just is.
Yeah, I also think that this is something that we just haven't been able to do in a Royals game. And if you've been to baseball games in other cities, you know what I'm talking about. For example, if you've been to Coors Field. Now, I know you guys are going to act like you never do this, but sometimes you leave the Royals game early. Sometimes the Royals are getting pummeled in the 6th inning, and you just decide, hey, why don't we head home? Or sometimes maybe the Royals have a really exciting 4-3 win, and you know what you love to do? Go out and get something to drink. Maybe you want to hear some live music. You're just in a mood to stay out. It's Friday night. You got a babysitter. You just want to continue to be out. Where they currently are doesn't allow you this ability. But you know what will be possible? It'll be possible to keep the night going in a few years. Hey, we're already downtown. Oh, look, there's a vibe. There's an atmosphere. People are playing music. Hey, why don't we stop in here and get something to eat? Why don't we stop in here and get something to drink? Why don't we stop in here and hang out? You have never had that ability as a Royals fan. You are going to have that ability here coming up in the next 4 or 5 years to be able to do that. And if you've been to other stadiums, if you've been to St. Louis, if you've been to Denver, if you've been to San Diego and some of these other stadiums, you will have an ability that you've never had before.
I think about places like, now I've never been, people rave about Baltimore Stadium. You know what Baltimore Stadium has on that backdrop of right field where all the baseballs get hit? Restaurants, bars, and shops that lead up to the stadium. That alone is a cool thing in the lead up and in after the game. If you are a person that lives downtown, let's say the Royals are either getting thumped or thumping someone 10-3 in the 6th. It's not, hey, they shut down the Fountain Bar. I guess we have to all drive home now. It's, oh, we can go over to insert place blank and get one more drink. And, oh, hey, how many times have you been at Kauffman Stadium where it's like, oh, there's something else going on in the world tonight. I'd like to be able to watch that too. You can now leave a Royals game and not have to leave the vicinity and still be able to do that. Like, those are the advantages of downtown baseball.
No, for sure. And just that area is just, it's going to be really, really cool now. Honestly, it's going to be really, really cool. Like someone on the text line says, you now have the ability to catch a game on Saturday and then head to Green Lady Lounge. Exactly. It's right down the street. You now have the ability to get to the stadium an hour and a half early and hang out and have a good time. Maybe you don't actually plan on going to the game, but you want to be around the game. Maybe it's a playoff game and you're looking for a place to be able to watch the game on television and still be in the middle of the action. you will have the ability to do that in their new stadium. So yes, we are giving up some things in order to get this. It is not going to be as easy access in and out the way that it currently is. You're not going to have all the space in the world. Yes, you're not going to be able to tailgate at some of these games. But the point that I made earlier, and I'll make it here, is I don't think it's going to be a lot like Atlanta. Atlanta Stadium is in the suburbs with all the space in the world. If you've been to Target Field, that's what they are building. They're building Target Field. It's on 8 acres of land. Right now, the proposed idea has 5. They're going to have to create more space. I think that goes without saying. They're going to have to create more space than what they currently have. But if you look at what's around Target Field, what is around their stadium, that is exactly what they are about to create. Brand new, state-of-the-art, beautiful stadium with the backdrop of the city, and it's going to be amazing. So, yeah, there's a lot of things I have questions about. There are some things I don't really have questions about, and I would say that's one of them. The stadium will absolutely impress, and once it's done and operating, and we are all used to it, we are absolutely going to love it. I would also throw this out because I've lived here a very long time. We usually end up being very skeptical about these changes until they're actually here, and then we like their changes. It was not that long ago. I remember the city was complaining about the airport and that we didn't need a new airport and who needs more restaurants and who needs more plug outlets. And then we got the new airport, and it ended up being it is just as convenient as the old one, but infinitely nicer than the old one. There was a time where Kansas City didn't see a need for the streetcar. There was a time where there was a time that people didn't want to leave Kemper Arena and didn't want a new downtown stadium for the Big 12 tournament. Like, we always kind of have these pushbacks on things. Then we get them, then we go, and it's like, this is amazing, because of course it is.
I mean, there's dozens of those projects in town. I mean, remember when it was like, I can't believe the parking is so bad at the women's soccer stadium? Now people who go are like, oh, it's a great time. People just hate change. And then once the change is instituted, they realize, oh, this is actually good. People hated T-Mobile Center. They hated Power and Light. They hated everything about it. And yet here we sit, and it's all working and working well for the city.
Someone on the text line says, CDOT, you mentioned going to watch them in the playoffs. They would have to make the playoffs. That's fair. You're right. I can't argue that. I'm not even trying to be funny. You're 100% right, because they got to make the playoffs in order for them to do that. It does feel good to get a little bit of a day off without talking about their team and the 3 runs they're going to score later today.
They're playing the White Sox. They better score more than 3. Bink calls them the booty call of the AL.
Okay. I wouldn't repeat that on this show. I wouldn't repeat that, right? Feels like an FCC violation is what it feels like. You know what? Speaking of the Royals, one thing I would like to talk about with the Royals, why don't we talk about those new uniforms they got? We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Spring is here, and the first golf major of the season is here, and there's no better way than celebrate with our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel has your back with the special Mulligan Bet Back token this week in golf. Once the tournament gets going, you can turn any losing bet into a bonus bet for another try. Now you've got protection to take that sleeper pick, take a big chance, or make a bold prediction as we are celebrating the first major tournament of the golf season, and you know you want to be a part of it. Are you taking somebody to win it all? Well, go for it. Do you like somebody for a top 5 finish? Well, you can lock it in with confidence, because if it doesn't hit, you got that mulligan in your back pocket locked and ready to go. All you need to do is go to FanDuel.com/local to claim your special Mulligan Bet Back token. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app and the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
The world is coming to Kansas City. Is your parking lot ready? Over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, they want to make sure that your business is inviting, that it's safe, and that, of course, your project is cost-effective, because they want to make sure that you're ready and that your business is ready before the world comes here. That's all possible over at Gann, who can handle any type of project your parking lot would need. That's because they're one contractor, all things parking lot. Check out their projects at GannAsphalt.com or give them a call at 816-688-3512.
Hello, this is Jason Gudenkoff with Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas, the home of $50 over factory invoice. Since 1979, our $50 over factory invoice pricing has been saving Kansas City Ford buyers thousands of dollars when buying a new Ford. Our no-hassle $50 over invoice pricing has helped us become the #1 F-150 dealer in the state of Kansas. And now, for the 9th time, the #1 F-150 dealer in the entire Kansas City area. At Lewisburg Ford, we understand that price is important, but it doesn't stop there. There's other factors to this equation: trade allowance, financing, and customer satisfaction. We don't just say that we're great at taking care of customers, we actually do it. Ford Motor Company has awarded us with the President's Award 23 times. This is the top honor that they give their Ford dealers for customer satisfaction in sales and in service. So if you're in the market for a new Ford, come see us at Lewisburg Ford. You can reach us at 816-444-2300 or on the web at lewisburgford.com.
Tonight, expect showers and thunderstorms with a low of 54.
Weather brought to you by Staples. From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store and online. Staples. That was easy.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Penalties and interest are piling up every single day. Wage garnishments and bank levies could hit any moment. If you've been avoiding it out of fear, you're not alone. But waiting only shrinks your options and ramps up the stress. The truth is, the IRS settles with taxpayers every day through legitimate programs, and many qualify to reduce what they owe, in some cases by up to 99%. That's why thousands turn to helpwithirsdebt.com. They've guided over 120,000 Americans, resolved more than $2.3 billion in tax debt, and back every case with their ironclad resolution guarantee. If there's no real path forward, you get a full refund, no fine print. They even randomly select one qualifying client each year and pay off their entire IRS balance. Terms apply. Don't let another day pass. Go to helpwithirsdebt.com right now. It's fast, easy, and confidential. Find out what's possible today. Helpwithirsdebt.com. Once again, that's helpwithirsdebt.com.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
This is Blake Fanning with Shawnee Mission Ford. We promise to continue giving you reason to shop at Shawnee Mission Ford in 2026. Great selection of new and used vehicles, large discount, top trade allowance, and mobile service when you need it. There's no reason to go anywhere else. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more in 26.
96.5 The Fan's draft coverage is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, the Leavenworth PD, and the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Buckner's Heating and Cooling, still dealing with a crash downtown, and it is 70 westbound as you're just past 71. Now the two right lanes are blocked and a lot of red. Yep, backups I see. The stall's still working 470 westbound just past Raytown. Right lane is blocked. Time down with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey Kansas City, it's Bobby Witt Jr. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Someone sent this in. C-Dot, congratulate Mayor Lucas for almost being the first mayor in U.S. history to lose 2 professional teams in less than 6 months. I don't think this is me saying this because of my personal relationship with Mayor Lucas. I think if you look at the way that this has played out, I don't think the Chiefs ever wanted to stay in Missouri. I don't think they ever planned on staying in Missouri. I don't think they ever moved in a way that was going to allow them to stay in Missouri. I think the Royals have made their intentions very, very clear from the very, very beginning and have always operated in that way. It took a long time, but the Royals eventually got what they told us they wanted. What the Royals told us they wanted, the very first press conference from John Sherman is we love Kauffman Stadium, but we have a vision of a downtown baseball stadium. The city just gave them all the tools to build that today. I think the Chiefs played on nostalgia for as long as they possibly could because their plan ultimately is to get what they got. A sweetheart deal from Kansas that will allow them the ability to host WrestleMania, that will allow them the ability to host the Super Bowl, that will allow them to build their football cathedral. I believe that Clark Hunt flew around the country and went to all these new NFL stadiums and watched his team play a Super Bowl in Allegiant Stadium, watched his team play games in SoFi Stadium, watched the Denver Broncos, who built a stadium in the late 90s, who are about to have a new football stadium before the Chiefs' new stadium is up. I think he had new stadium envy. Missouri was never offering them a new stadium. They were offering them a renovated stadium. And I made this point while it was going on, so this isn't a hindsight of 2020. I don't care how much you like your house. If somebody is planning on giving you a new house or renovating the one that you currently live in, and they're going to pay for the new house, a lot of people are moving in that scenario. The Chiefs are moving. The only option for Kansas City or the Chiefs in staying on the Missouri side was totally based on nostalgia. It was not the best business move or financial move. I don't think they wanted to be there anymore. So I hear what you're saying about the mayor and losing the city. I think every mayor we've ever had would have lost the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Royals were a different beast. I think the Royals communicated where they always wanted to be, so now it was the city's responsibility to get it done. The Chiefs never came out as passionate about preserving Arrowhead. And I've said this from the very beginning, look at the renovation plans they threw together. That was not the renovation plans of somebody who wanted to stay. That was the renovation plans of people that were, to me, half in, half out, and were looking ahead to the future and building their new stadium. I think the Chiefs have always had their eye on moving to Kansas. They eventually got what they want. Now, I know in the short term it doesn't feel this way. 10 years from now, when we are having this conversation, I think we're going to feel like everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out. I think Kansas City will host a Super Bowl in less than a decade or so. They will host the All-Star game in baseball in less than a decade. They will have two completely brand new stadiums. One will be in downtown Kansas City. The one in Kansas will give you all of the things that you loved about the old stadium in a much more modern and new feel. In the end, this is probably what was always going to happen. The Chiefs were always going to take the sweetheart deal from Kansas that was willing to bend over backwards to do whatever they wanted to get a professional sports team. And then with that leverage, the state of Missouri had to give the Royals what they wanted to eventually give them the downtown stadium. I think it was always going to play out this way.
I also feel like we were saying this. Now, I'm not here to pat us on the back. We are not the only show, the only media types, the only entity in town.
Give us credit for that. We were.
But Carrington, when the vote said no, I remember the next day we were doing topics of you have opened up the opportunity for the Chiefs to move, and people didn't want to hear that, and that's fine. But the minute that vote failed, it felt like the Chiefs are a free agent, and they were going to find out the best business deal for them. And that's what happened. John Sherman has been saying almost ad nauseum, he is not moving the team out of the metro. He's not moving the team. He's not moving the team, not moving the team. At the end of the day, he's not moving the team. He stayed in the same county, in the same city. We presume he's going to take the deal the city is offering, I guess. And everything worked out the way it worked out. The Chiefs got what they needed, which is space, and they can build their own thing. And the Royals got what they wanted, which is downtown baseball. We saw the vision of what is going to happen coming to fruition, and I feel like fans just didn't want to see that is going to be a reality one day.
Let's talk about these City Connect uniforms before we dive back into the stadium. I don't like these jerseys. I don't dislike these jerseys. They're fine. That's the best way of putting it. They're fine to me. If you like them, great. These are not jerseys that I would spend money on. These are not my favorite City Connect uniforms that they've had. The uniforms that they had that I really like were the blue ones, the City Connect ones that they had, the old ones. Now they're not going to wear them this year. They're going to wear these uniforms. I understand what they were trying to do, and I get the story behind it. I don't really like the color design. The hat's terrible, in my opinion. It is. Baseball hats are sacred to me. They're the coolest piece of merch that you can wear. Think about all the things that you can wear that the players actually wear. Like, a baseball cap is cooler than wearing a basketball jersey. It's cooler than wearing a football jersey or basketball shorts. It is the literal thing that they wear on the field. They play baseball games in this. So that's a really sacred thing to me. And you identify the Yankees by that logo, by that colorway, by that hat. The Red Sox are that way. The Cubs are that way. Various baseball teams around Major League Baseball. This Royals hat just looks goofy to me. I'm not a huge fan of the hat. The jerseys aren't that bad to me. I would give the jerseys a 5.5 out of 10. I think they're fine. I would give the hat a 2. There's not really a scenario in which I would buy or purchase that hat. Especially when we looked it up on the New Era store, it's $52.99 for that hat. $52? People are swiping their debit card for that hat at $53? No, I'll catch that on clearance. I don't need that brand new. I'll wait till that hits like 20, 30. I even think that's too much for me. I just don't like the hat. So that's where I am on the City Connect uniforms. I like the blue ones more. I don't hate these jerseys. I don't like these jerseys. They're fine. They're not a jersey I would purchase. They're not really a jersey I would wear. I don't love the color scheme. But the real abomination is the hat. The hat's bad. The hat's really bad.
I don't understand how they messed up the hat. The logo on the jersey is that goofy smiley face crown, and underneath it is the R. Have that be the hat. But instead, someone pointed out the text line, and now I can't unsee it. The hat looks like 3 smiley faces. It's terrible. I don't like the gradient look.
It looks like an emoji.
It's bad. I feel like you say it's a 5 of 10 jersey. If the hat was like a 9, I feel like you would bump up the score by a point and a half, maybe 2. You would feel a lot different if the hat wasn't terrible.
The whole fit is it's below average to me. Again, these jerseys are not for me. I feel like these jerseys are for kids. That's what I feel. I feel like these jerseys are for kids. And if you are going to the store to buy a jersey, I'd rather get the blue jersey. I'd rather get the powder blue jersey. I'd rather get the white jersey. I'd rather get the old City Connect jerseys. Maybe they're running some kind of clearance and they're trying to get rid of them. I'd much rather wear those jerseys than wear these new ones. These jerseys are just they're not doing it for me. I'm not a huge fan of these jerseys. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to reset things. The headline right now on the Kansas City Star, the city of Kansas City unveils a $600 million plan for the Royals in a downtown stadium. We were joined by the mayor of Kansas City earlier today. We'll play the best of that for you next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Brought to you by Buckner's Heating and Cooling. Still dealing with the crash downtown, and it is 70 westbound as you're just past 71. Now the 2 right lanes are blocked and a lot of red. Yep, backups I see. The stall's still working 470 westbound just past Raytown. Right lane is blocked. Time down with traffic on 96.5, The Fan.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy 1 Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting. It's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
and Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Sex, intimacy, love. These three things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts, with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
What's up, KC? It's Chris Bubich. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play with Denny, Jake, Brian, and Stu right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. We're off at 5:30 today because of the Royals, so we don't really have time for the chit-chat and the back and forth. We got to dive right into it. This is how we're going to do it. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on the Royals. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on KU that no one from their team last year is still on their roster outside of Cole Rosario. And then we'll play for you the best of Mayor Quentin Lucas. That was on the show. So if you were just getting out of work and you missed it, the story is that the city of Kansas City has unveiled a $600 million plan for the Royals to move to downtown Kansas City. So this is from the Star. The plan is built around a specific location, Washington Square Park. To give you some backdrop on where that is at 100 East Pershing Road. It is a 5-acre plot of land that is located east of Union Station but north of Crown Center. So if you are thinking where the Westin Crown Center is, directly in front of it is where they are talking about building this stadium. The proposal calls for a $1.9 billion stadium and a surrounding district at the downtown site near Crown Center and near Union Station. Kansas City will contribute roughly $600 million to this project. So they unveiled a plan earlier today. We'll talk more about that plan. There is an ordinance that would authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a 30-year lease with the Royals with an agreement for them to buy a new stadium. They also have a pretty aggressive timeline. They want to open this stadium by opening day of 2030. I'm going to guess that they are not going to do that, but that is what they are saying. I've lived in Missouri long enough. I lived in Kansas City enough to know their projects don't usually end when they say it's going to end. So let's just say 2031 to be a little bit safe, but that is their plan. Again, we're going to play it for you here coming up in just a little bit. My first read on this when I found out about this is this offers the Royals everything they told us that they wanted. From day one when John Sherman communicated that they were moving, everything that the city announced today is offering the Royals what they said they wanted. This is going to be about $1 billion in public funds. This is a prime downtown location that is right there on the streetcar line with a beautiful backdrop of downtown Kansas City. They are going to offer you the space necessary that you need to be able to build your entertainment district and bars and shops around where you think the stadium is going to be. The Royals eventually won. It took a roundabout way for us to get there, but the Royals in the end got exactly what they were asking for. So at least for me, I'm not saying you can't weigh in. I'm not saying you can't offer up any opinion, but I think something is important. It's over now. So if you were texting in, well, why didn't they do this? They're not doing that. They are not moving to East Village. They are not staying at the Truman Sports Complex. They are not going to 119th and Knoll or North Kansas City or any of these proposed ideas. This is step one in about a 3-step process to the Royals announcing a special press conference at some point in the next 3 weeks where they communicate to us what their plan is and show us some renderings that they are planning on building a beautiful downtown stadium in downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Now, important to note, you are going to hear a lot of people comparing this to what they have in Atlanta, and I get it. Everybody is trying to build what they have in Atlanta. I don't think that's going to be the fair comparison. I think the fair comparison is going to be Target Field. Target Field is in downtown Minneapolis, and it sits on around 8 acres of land. Right now, the space designated for the Royals is about 5 acres of land. So they're going to have to create a little bit more space. But we got the information earlier that the Royals have been reaching out to Minnesota to try to figure out how they made it work and how to build this state-of-the-art stadium in a very condensed area. They have also reached out to Crown Center to get their blessing on this. They've also reached out to the Halls family. Like the Royals have been doing a lot of this work on the front end to make sure that everything is on the up and up. So I 100% believe that in 2 weeks, we are going to have to go live to Kauffman Stadium for a press conference, and the Royals are going to talk about how long this has been as a process, but they are happy to move forward with the city of Kansas City on this plan to build a downtown stadium. I have thought this way from the very beginning. This is the only plan that was going to unify the city. I did not want them to move out to 119th and all. I was never going to be excited about North Kansas City. There was only one plan that was going to get me excited, and this is the plan. I still have a lot of questions about this. Is there enough space to be able to do this? What does parking look like? Can we have multiple entertainment districts that are basically 2 miles apart from each other? There's a lot of questions that I have about this, but I do not question how good this is for the city and how cool the stadium is going to be. We'll play the best of the mayor here coming up in a bit, but I do want to give you some Kansas basketball thoughts before we do that.
Your workday is over. Oh, yeah. You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrying the hits are brought to you by the Salvation Army. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for the Salvation Army's Civic Lunch, which takes place on May 7th.
Maybe this is me hating a little bit just as a Missouri fan. I can live with that if that's what it feels like. I feel like KU fans are frantic for the first time that I've seen them in a very, very long time. There is uncertainty around their coach past this year. I don't know if Bill Self is going to be the coach in 2027. I don't know if he's going to be the coach in 2028. I just know that he is signed up for at least the next 12 months of being the coach at Kansas. They don't have many returning players to this year's team. They don't like one and dones. They're also not that great in the transfer portal. For the first time, Kansas basketball, to me, doesn't really seem to have a clear identity on who they are. They just don't really appear to have a clear direction on who they are. What kind of program is Kansas right now? Are they a program that develops and moves guys along through the system, kind of like what Houston is? Are they a team that just loads up and gets star freshmen? Are they the program that just really knocks out the transfer portal? For the first time in a while, Rob, and again, maybe this is me looking at it as a Missouri fan and the outside looking in, Kansas basketball feels very, very uncertain right now to me.
It is definitely the choppiest water Bill Self may have faced in his time at Kansas. Maybe that's the best way to say it. But I feel like, and maybe this is me being a homer, if they can get 2 top 15 high school kids, another 2 in the top 100, I trust Bill Self to build around that. And he did okay in the portal last year. Didn't hit a home run, but he did not fail with Trey White and Melvin Council, so I will give him the benefit of the doubt, but it does feel like they are in rough water for the first time in a long time.
And I know we got to play the mayor. I want to be clear. This is comparing Kansas only to themselves. I'm sure Kansas will have a very good basketball team next year. They'll be a 3 seed or a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. They're not going to win the Big 12. They're not going to win the conference tournament. They're not going to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament, but I'm sure they'll host College Game Day next year. They'll win 1 or 2 really exciting home games, and it'll be fun to cheer for Kansas. They just held themselves to an absolute higher standard. I don't really know if we can hold this year. They don't have a team. Their team is going to be a bunch of freshmen and a bunch of transfers. I've seen Bill coach that kind of team. That team never meets Kansas fans' expectations. Earlier today, we had the mayor of Kansas City on the show. We started our conversation with, how did this deal come together over the last couple of days?
You know, today, in terms of where we're going, this ordinance was introduced not just by me, but I was able to have the co-sponsorship, and I appreciate it, of my city council colleagues. I believe we have all but 3 as co-sponsors, so that means that there are 10 of us that support this item. That's a majority, a supermajority, so it looks favorable for passage there. We will have some conversation at the Board of Parks and Recreation Commissioners in Kansas City. That's a group that's appointed by the mayor, but they are charged with overseeing parks like this one. This will be a stadium in a park, a lot like Soldier Field. I've been up there to see the Chiefs play. Many others have, and so you will have that sort of setup, but that is our short-term time frame. And then after that, of course, it's our city manager continuing to work closely with the Royals, with the state of Missouri, with all of our regional partners to see that we can get this all done, wrapped up. And as I've said to people, I'd really like a groundbreaking in the first quarter of 2027. I'm still mayor then, as you know, and if we could even do better, the last quarter of 2026.
Right now, we're talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quinn Lucas. A lot of things to ask him about this announcement that the city has put together around $600 million for a downtown stadium project for the Kansas City Royals. Is there a reason why the Royals were not present today at the announcement?
You know, I think that we continue to have strong conversations with the Royals, but John Sherman made it clear on his opening day interview that we want to make sure that, the financing is in place. This is that key, really, in some ways, final step, even though there are obviously subsequent steps to when you're selling bonds and all of that, to get that financing in place. You know, I know that with passage next week, we'll get the big event, we'll get CDOT Live out in the streets, hopefully bring you out downtown, but we're going to make sure that we get this important part of our work done, and it was the view of the city that the best way to do that is me talking to my colleagues, us making sure that we're aligned. We were able to do that. It was frankly kind of boring government stuff, but boring government stuff that's going to lead to, hopefully a wonderful event here coming up soon.
Are you expecting them to have an announcement similar to the one that you had soon?
I think that our next steps are to make sure that we get this done. That's where the pressure will be. That's what I want to make sure we get done, and to make sure that we're talking to the members of the public. I know there's some of your listeners who are saying they should never leave Kauffman Stadium. We hate that you're even trying to evaluate any of this. So that's for us, and then I would hope that the next time we're all together, it is the Royals, it is the governor of Missouri, it's us in Kansas City. Jackson County will determine what its role may be, but hopefully everybody's together in a very clear announcement where this community can once and for all really celebrate this discussion and ultimately be done, right? We have been through a lot. We have all learned way too much about stadium contracts and deals and what works and what doesn't, and I'm glad that we'll at least be in a space now where we know that our professional teams are staying here in Kansas City for the long term, and we know that the Royals will be generating 81 nights a year of great activity in downtown Kansas City. That's where I want to be. That's what we'll be if this all passes next week.
This is my perception of things, and I want you to tell me if I'm wrong. My perception is I think the Royals have publicly stated what they want and what is important to them. It seems to me in reading on this that you guys are providing everything that they've asked for. The funding is there. We'll get to the land portion of this coming up in just a little bit. You've got the streetcar right there. You've got the downtown access. This provides the Royals a lot of the things that they initially said they wanted when they said that they were moving out of the Truman Sports Complex.
I think this hits a nail on the head of everything that they said. The message I go way back to, if you're in the mid-2020s, Mr. Sherman, I sent what I thought was a very good letter to the community about why they're evaluating downtown. And all the things that were mentioned then are is true today. You want to be in the center of a region, frankly, and why I think this is, of the deals that we've been talking about over recent months, this is one of the best. You're in the core of the city. You're the heart of any convention. You're the heart of any flyover shot. You're next to residential population that has been booming over the last 30 years. You're next to public transportation and infrastructure. You know, for better or worse, I know some people don't like downtown, but literally every highway in the region comes in and out of downtown Kansas City. This is central to our region. This isn't an edge. This isn't everybody hopping on I-70 after a football game, which may happen on either side of the metro, by the way. This is something that I think is great for Kansas City and the Kansas City region. It allows us to compete with other downtowns. And I will say this to you. This isn't just about baseball. This is about a venue that is going to be doing work more than 300 days a year, a venue that's now going to be part of all of our pitches here in Kansas City government. And I think it's going to bring more excitement and energy to downtown, which is good for our region long term.
Right now, we're talking to the mayor of Kansas City. Mayor Quentin Luke is talking to him about the major development today, the biggest step that we have ever seen in a project towards a downtown stadium for the Kansas City Royals. So I'm going to ask you a couple of the questions that I think people have. The number one question is, this $600 million, where is it coming from with the city?
$600 million, and it's a lot, and it's an important investment. It would come from redirections that exist in some ways today, right? Today we have two teams that play out of Truman Sports Complex. They generate a certain amount of tax revenue, sales taxes and beyond, and our calculation is a conservative one, but is based off of what we're generating today from baseball. So that is estimate one. We will throw in infrastructure investment in connection with it. The state of Missouri is going to be an important partner. They passed something called the Show Me Sports Investment Act in a special legislative session last year, and that's where you look to the public financing of the project. What I'm impressed by is that, you know, if you look at the numbers, and I'm not getting ahead of the Royals, and they'll have a chance to talk about all this soon enough, but you're looking at substantial private investment, a team that truly wants to be in Kansas City, that wants to grow with Kansas City, and Frank is going to pay real money to be part of that. So I think that what we are seeing is something that doesn't necessarily have people saying, we like what's happening, but we're worried that we're going to go broke or it's going to redirect too much and all of that. Instead, you have an incredibly fiscally responsible arrangement that helps deliver on 30 years of redevelopment in downtown Kansas City that, frankly, I think everyone in our region will be proud of, will be a center point for pictures, for experiences, and it's going to change Kansas City.
Maybe this is more of a question for the Royals than it is for you guys. Where is everybody going to park?
Yeah, well, you know, if you come to, first of all, this has been tested. A whole bunch of people, maybe not your listeners, maybe your listeners, I won't judge, but Chapel Roan played 2 shows in downtown Kansas City, both of which had above 30,000 people. Basically the exact size of what you will expect of a strong attendance at a Kansas City Royals game downtown. And frankly, the ingress and egress, as I saw it, was good. We closed the street to help people get in and out. The streetcar now goes in 2 directions. And the thing that downtown is special for, as compared to building something by a highway, is that, yes, you still have the highways coming in every direction, but you also have the core of the city. So you have people who are leaving just through the city streets, and you're on the street grid like normal, and you have public transportation. And by the way, you have 19,000 parking spots within a 10-minute walk at Crown Center, at Union Station, which adds about 3,000, and of course all the lots all around the Crossroads area in downtown. This is something that is going to work, and what I say to people worried about parking, I was in St. Louis 2 weeks ago. I didn't go for a Blues game. One was going on downtown when I was there. You know what? If my friends in Eastern Missouri can figure it out, then I know we can too, and I think it's going to be additive to our businesses in particular, but it's also going to be something that will work well for Kansas Cityans on the whole.
A lot of people have made mention of the Battery in Atlanta. I don't know if there's enough room there for maybe what the Royals' idealistic vision is. If you look at Minnesota and Target Field, it's built on around 8 acres of land. Right now, the Washington Square Park space is around 5 acres of land. Talk to us about the space that is currently presented to the Royals. And it sounds to me like you guys are going to have to create more space in order to build this development there.
You know, I think that there have been pretty active conversations with nearby real estate interests in connection with, how we go forward on ancillary development. My understanding from the team is that they stay incredibly interested in what is that ancillary development. You know, real estate people have been talking for years. I think you can have every confidence that a lot of that is figured out. And I think what you can expect is that this, of course, is not just a stadium project, but it's also a development project long term. I think it's going to be great for our community. I think it's going to be great, frankly, for the Royals as well.
Right now, we're talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas, mentioning the Battery. The Battery has its own entertainment district around it. There's an entertainment district a mile and a half from where this proposed site is. Is the plan to incorporate that into this plan, or is the idea to give the Royals their own entertainment district?
I think there's an interest in a new engagement, a new entertainment district, something that allows us the chance to actually really catalyze what would be a new development. But, you know, look, you're near Crown Center. You're near a lot of good excitement on that southern end of the crossroads. And here's the thing that we are finally figuring out in Kansas City, CDOT. It is that, yeah, we want continuous activity. So for somebody who's coming from, let's say, the streetcar stop that's across from the World War I Museum, who comes through Crown Center, who goes to the stadium, who's walking through the crossroads, who goes downtown, goes to the River Market, we don't have to have dead blocks in between. A normal place keeps that activity going. That's how you have the vibrancy downtown. And this stadium, which frankly at its core, and I put it on my social media, is an infill development project of a site. I know we're talking about the park. It's primarily a giant parking lot for a tenant that is now gone in Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's the type of infill we're dealing with that I think will, frankly, create even more great activity long-term for Kansas City.
When you look at that area, do you think that area can handle another entertainment district? Because we're talking about Power and Light, we're talking about the Royals' proposed idea, and we're talking about the Crossroads, all within an 8-minute drive of each other. That's not even counting Westport. That's a 10-minute drive in the other direction. Is Kansas City large enough to support all of those things simultaneously?
We are large enough to support them all simultaneously, but I'll tell you the other part that we need to be. We need to keep growing. I mean, downtown, you from here, I'm from here. It was raggedy when we were real young, with the greatest respect, right? We had a Union Station that was basically closed except for the Amtrak stop, a Liberty Memorial that was crumbling. We had very real challenges. And look at what we have done now. And people might have said, can y'all handle a museum across the street from another museum, across the street from a museum in Crown Center, down from art galleries, all of that? Of course you can. That's why you invest in growth. That is what Kansas City needs to believe in. I think this is the real template for how we do it. And the benefit is it is all walkable, and you got something for everybody. I got a place to take my little kids, right? People have a place if they want to go out for drinks after the game late. If you want to go to a day game, you got an office building right nearby. This actually unleashes so much opportunity. That's why the city is interested in this investment. That's why the state of Missouri is. That's why, frankly, the Royals have been talking about downtown so long. So I think this is a game changer for all of the parties involved.
Who do you think is more excited about this, Union Station or Crown Center?
You know, I think all of them are pretty pumped about what's coming ahead. I've talked to all of those institutions, by the way. You know, Union Station lit itself up blue not long ago, but, you know, who I think should be most excited, I've gotten a few texts already today, restaurant owners in the crossroads, small businesses in the crossroads, the sort of people who have seen something special in this community and say, you know what, our investment's paying off because Kansas City is doing what it needs to do, investing in its core, making sure that we'll have a healthy region long term. And instead of those stories of decline that you see in some other major markets, maybe on the other side of this state, what you're catching is nothing but success. So that's what I'm excited about.
Talking to the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas, for a couple more minutes, getting his thoughts on the reaction to the city is proposing $600 million for a new development when it talks to the Kansas City Royals. Your detractors, and I'm sure you hear from them a lot of people are going to mention that you guys are moving around $600 million and it is not going to require a public vote, where the last time that this came up, it did require a public vote. What do you say to those people?
This is a totally different deal, right? So the substance of stadiums is the same. But I encourage people to look at the CPKC Stadium. If you don't know what that is, that's the women's soccer stadium on the riverfront. We did not vote on that, by the way. We had no vote. But what we had was, I think, an outstanding development where you had collaboration between the city of Kansas City, one of our agencies, and the state of Missouri. And now you've got this stadium that is world-renowned, a stadium that's hosting a whole bunch of events. You have $1 billion of multifamily development. You have investment in park space. You got a streetcar line running to it. We have changed Kansas City from a place that had a landfill before to a transformative economic development activity. And that was all done through the normal public boards and commissions that we have. This is my model, and frankly, this is why Kansas City is great in how we do development. We are not looking to levy a sales tax across all of Jackson County. We're not looking to capture sales tax revenues from a giant swath of our state. Instead, what we're doing right now is actually having a stadium team fund much of its own development, and we think that with the ancillary developments can be a part of it, it's going to be a home run for the team and the city.
We mentioned it a little bit, where Target Field sits on around 8 acres. This is around 5 acres. One of people's issue with the Crossroads area was that you were going to have to displace homes and businesses, etc. I mentioned the fact that at some point I think you're going to have to create a little bit more space than what the proposed idea. How many businesses are affected in this area? And ultimately, when expansion happens, how many people could potentially be displaced?
No business needs to close. No business needs to move. We have one building on the site. That one building has been vacated. The business has moved to new headquarters. And so what we have right now is the opportunity for us to, I think, move forward aggressively, actively, and to be in a position where we can say, you know, hey, we're not displacing people. We're not displacing residents. And I'm excited with where this needs to go ahead.
20 years from now, are you going to look back at this as being your legacy? Is that you were the mayor that got the downtown stadium built?
You know what? I think my legacy is going to be the fact that we put probably 10 to 15,000 Kansas Cityans in affordable housing. We got people off the streets. We did a lot of good work. But this is my opinion, is icing on the cake. I appreciate where we're going right now. I appreciate what we're doing. And I got a lot of work left to do because I know we need to make sure we share with the public why this is a good idea, how they can be engaged, and how this is a game changer for Kansas City.
That was the mayor of Kansas City, Mayor Quentin Lucas, joining us on the show. If you missed any part of that interview, be sure to check out the podcast page. We'll talk a lot more about this in the days and weeks to come as the Royals eventually sit down and make this official. But this is really exciting news. This is some of the biggest news in the city's history. It is fundamentally changing our community in a lot of ways. So certainly happy to be here with you on this historic day to discuss it. We got more coming up tomorrow. Go Royals tonight as they look back to getting to winning ways as they have the White Sox at home this weekend. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.